You know that shit. I don't know, bro. I'm getting old, I guess. I don't know. I don't like the music. I'm just shit's too loud. I go to bed early. Fuck, bro.
You still go to bed early?
All the time.
You still wake up early and drink coffee and watch CNN?
No, not CNN.
Come on, man.
You Democrat.
No. You are up early. I noticed that.
Every day.
I'll be up at like 6 a.m. and I see you online.
Cool. All right, yeah.
I've got my morning people that message me every day, and we talk shit to each other in the morning, basically.
Yeah, I'm trying. I go through waves, man, because I'm more of a night person. So when I get off work, like I feel like that's when I get to do everything I wanted to do all day, but I couldn't do because I was at work. You know what I'm saying? So I'll fuck around and stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning every night, just drawing, watching YouTube videos, playing video games, just because I'm like, fuck it, I'm my own boss. I'll go in when I want, But yeah, it's kind of it's not the best thing in the world to be that way because you can get so much done if you wake up at 6 and then you get on that schedule. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the quiet time of the day. That's why I like it.
Mm-hmm. You don't get distracted as much at night either, too. But at the same time, you don't get distracted in the mornings either. Is bad. So, but my thing was, and this is one thing I did stop doing was, when I wake up, I don't get on social media for at least an hour or so.
Dude, so I saw
That's
that.
smart.
I've been seeing that. Some people saying like for the first 15 minutes of your day, you shouldn't. Don't get on it. Don't get up and check it. And I still do it.
I do it.
I'm not perfect with it.
Fuck,
for
I
sure.
do it, dude. I'm guilty. I can't help it.
Does it not? I mean, not that you never know what it is that could trigger you to put you in a bad mood or just
facts.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's a lot of different opinions and shit going on that you don't really have control of. Yeah.
And you see it and you're like, fuck, man. Like, why did I see that? Now I'm pissed. Now I feel weird. Why am I warm right now?
They're hurting dogs on Facebook.
Yeah. You definitely got to stay off Facebook, but
yeah, Facebook does suck now, I feel. Like it's
I've been off that shit. If it wasn't for Marketplace, that shit would be deleted.
Marketplace is where it's at.
Yep.
But not right now, though. Marketplace sucks. I do a bunch of, buy things that are cheap and try to sell them. But, dude, there's no good deals on anything right now. I
think too many people have gotten hip to the concept of reselling things, and it's too easy to find out what something's worth.
Yeah.
Like back in the day when you would – you'd find some old lady, her dad or her husband died, and she has a bike. She doesn't know anybody. She doesn't use Facebook to find out.
Yeah, give me $500 for this old rusty Harley that's in
now
the shop.
She's got some fucking kid or grandkid that's in there going, this is worth money, Grandma. Like, I'm going to show you and blah, blah, blah. And
now she goes 1992 Dyna. $3,000. That's about what they're going for.
Yep. So you can't find
good used FXR.
Exactly, man. It's I know there's still deals out there, but you got to be a lot more skeptical about them. Like, why is this dude? This dude looks he rides bikes.
You got to be like those guys that came here and got your FXR.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we traveled to California and back, and we stopped and got multiple ones on the way. Like, you got to be able to go get them.
He's like, hey, I want to stop by and say hi. We just picked up an FXR down the street. I'm like, oh, shit, I got one for sale over here. He's like, how much? I go, I don't know, $3,000. Sold. Loads it up. I'm like, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it works sometimes.
That's how the scooter, I've been riding the little scooters now. Tony Santos got the scooter scene going down here in this little area. There's like 30 people with little old school 90s Japanese 50cc scooters, and that's how it is. You have to go to like Missouri or South Dakota or something to find one because anything within about a 5 or 6 state radius, you can't do it.
So there's basically a scooter kingpin that you got to go through to get in the scooter game.
Yeah, Tony, he buys all of them. If it comes for sale, no matter what, he's got like reminders or notification bells on his phone. So you'll go to message somebody, they'll be like, oh, somebody from Texas is already coming to get it. It's like in Louisiana. You're like, yeah, somebody from Dallas is actually, you're like, fucking Tony.
Which Tony is it?
Santos, the one that I bought my purple bike from.
Oh, okay.
But he like buys them and he soups them up. So he'll put like 70cc big bore kits and clutches and shit. Make them to where they're good to stunt ride.
How do you even find a big bore kit for a scooter?
Japanese. It's all like JDM.
Can you turn the AC down a little bit?
It's all JDM shit. So there's like some place, I think.
Are they like 2-stroke motors or something like that?
50cc 2-stroke. do they haul ass? They'll go like, they'll do like 60 miles an hour or some shit, which is way faster than you want to go on one.
They look fun as shit to ride, though.
There's a blast.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting on one of those. Well, shit, man. Paul, welcome to the podcast. This is your first time.
I appreciate it.
The lot of lizards over here is quite. He's been on quite a few times.
Been around these parts.
Yeah, I thought it was fitting. It's a good time to have you guys on with the upcoming, more or less you guys are starting to create the bigger bike nights here in Dallas. I guess in a similar fashion that like the Houston Dyna Crew has done as well, things like that.
Yeah, the Houston guys are killing it.
Yeah, I mean
we're trying to. They've taken it over, and you got to give credit where it's due. Like they're kicking ass.
They found
the spot.
Exactly. If I wish so badly that I didn't have this cunt ass fucking neighbor, I would totally just make this whole property open to whatever. It still wouldn't be as badass as the Houston guys can because they have the whole industrial area that the cops don't pretty much go to. But man,
I think it can be done here. I think we can definitely find a spot where we can do something similar, but it's just a matter of finding the spot.
We have a new spot that is a potential we found. They opened up this new bridge just north of Fort Worth, and it's like a perfectly paved bridge that goes like downhill. So the downhill kind of sucks, but it's nice going across the bridge. Yeah. But we could do the wheelies going back up the bridge and stuff. So there's a good stretch like that. And when you go over the bridge, you can see downtown in the background. Nice. So it's similar. How
do you think it would work like with having that many people out there and possibly vendors to? It's
going to be like everywhere in America that does this. Like at East Coastin', if the cops show up, like they're going to make you stop. Like that, at ROC, like we did it in the street in front of the Street Fighters show. They had ROC. It was like they literally had like a block party, bro.
Yeah, but if you have like the people on the side, would they all have to disperse, kind of like a street racing type thing, or would they be able to stay there?
No, you could stay there. They're just going to tell you to cut that shit out in the street. Y'all can't be doing that shit on the street. Okay, cool. They drive off, and you eventually keep doing it again. Who cares? That's what we did all weekend long at ROC. That's what they do at East Coastin'. And it probably takes a couple years for the cops to finally be like, all right, that's fucking enough of this shit. Deal. Like, once you have thousands of people coming, they got to do something
wild
with that. The last HCX Dyna Crew bike night, the cops showed up and didn't do shit.
No, they were cool. They said everybody be safe and have a good time.
Even we had that mishap, and the ambulance showed up and all that, and
they were still cool. But we done riding after that. It kind of killed the vibe for a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was a fucking gnarly ass wreck.
It was.
Thank God for fucking social media, right? Because there was fucking 5 angles of that wreck. You can they do videos where they make it show where it's just about to hit, and then another angle it's just about to hit. Yeah. It's just
Luckily everybody was all right. Jake's back to riding. He's coming up for the event.
Yeah. I saw Jake in Sturgis. He was at the Bell Brawl helping with judging, I believe.
Yeah.
So he was up there, but he was still in a cast and everything like that. And he had hit me up one night, and I was drunk as fuck on the way up there, I believe. He's like, I'm going to be up there, too. I'm like, dude, find me. I'll introduce you to all the people I know. I was fucking drunk. I don't know anybody up there.
He's like, this is my buddy Sax. Like, oh, shit. Damn it.
That could have been a lot worse than it was, though, for sure.
Yeah. But, they have a good thing going. Zombie Mike's spot down there is so rad, so chill. It's a good-ass little vibe. And like I said, it's in,
the perfect spot.
There's no, when the workforce leaves, that place is a ghost town. You know what I'm saying? So
they really do. They
do it on a weekend, so you're not going to have much traffic going through there.
Yeah, like for the third shift at night type shit or stuff like that. So, man, that vibe we need it here, man. I think that what you guys are doing with the Harley Davidson dealership is like the first steps to getting to that point. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we need it. Dallas has got a thick ass scene. Like how I said, thick.
That's right.
Thick, baby. Thick, baby.
No, it's progressed. When it first popped off, when we first started the whole DFW Dyna Crew thing, I don't even know what year it was. Must have been 17, I think we started it. It's progressed. Initially, it was just an idea where, I started a separate Instagram page called the Dynacologist, where I was just reposting. It was another Dyna repost page, and it's not just Dynas. It's FXRs. It's Now it's M8s and all that shit. But it's got a fairly good following, and I met so many people through it in Texas and just all over the country, just with the same kind of mindset. And I met a guy by the name of Kyle Schwantz, who's also a dyno rider, and him and I just clicked, and we were basically like, hey, let's start something where we could bring people together. Because to my ignorance, when I bought my first bike in 17, it was a 17 Street Bob, and I'm like, I'm going to make it look like club style, basically. I'm going to do that. And nobody in Dallas has one like this, so I'm going to be the only one that has it like this. I was fucking wrong.
I was too when I first tried. I thought I was going to be the first.
I was like, I'm going to be fucking kidding. No, I was wrong. And so I met Kyle, and Kyle and I got to talking, and we started this thing. And, initially, like, we did the whole chat thing on Instagram. And I think Instagram has like a 15-person limit in a chat, and like within a couple of days we exceeded that.
Yeah,
it was pretty quick. So we had to change the chat platform to something else, and we popped off a bike night, and with your help, we started it at Anvil. We did it in Dallas for a while there, and
what was like so when you were talking with Kyle and the original things, like, because being here in Dallas at the same time, I can understand how it was so like background. What's the word I'm looking for? It was underground. It really was. Like finding the different guys that were doing things, because I had kind of did the same thing. I kind of started getting into the dynas, and I quickly got connected with the Austin scene because they had a decent scene already in 17 and 16 whenever I got into it. And those guys were doing good, but in Dallas, there was just a couple, like Tattoo Wes was one of the guys that always had a T-Sport.
Yeah.
And a couple of his boys that ran around with him. And then you had like some of the FXR guys, but there was no unifying thing to kind of bring everybody together for the most part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's when we started the IG page. It was basically, the intent of it was just to bring people together. We recognized that there's people out there that had a similar taste in bikes, similar taste in Harleys, specific types of Harleys, and it was just about bringing everybody together. Just, hey, let's throw a bike night, let's organize some runs, some rides, what have you, and just do that.
Yeah.
And over the years, it's been there's been some struggles here and there, like with particular bike night locations.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a wide city.
Yeah.
It's not like Houston's circularly large. Like no matter what, if you're in downtown Houston, you're almost like
it's like a spoken wheel type thing.
Yeah, you can get on the loop and go anywhere.
But Dallas-Fort Worth is we thick.
Yeah. Houston, you just got Houston pretty much, right, and surrounding areas. But I mean, Dallas, you got Arlington, you got Fort Worth, you got, all these
all the way up
cities.
to Denton, Louisville, like Plano. It's a complicated deal dealing with that stuff, with logistics and pleasing everybody.
Pleasing everybody was a struggle because everybody's going to have different tastes in what a bike night location should be. Right? Some guys, want to be in a busy area where there's, women walking around, this, that, the other. Other guys want, we want this type of food there. And other guys are like, I don't give a shit, I want cheap beer. So you can't please everybody. You just can't. It's not going to happen. So you just do what's best and what works the best. And the bike night, we've been doing it at the Dirty Crow in the West 7th area of Fort Worth now for quite some time. I think the last at least 2 years now.
2 years,
yeah. And it's worked out really well.
So what about, there was that point in time where it seemed like the Dyna Crew chapters, if you will, were popping up all over the country. Like, how was that going down? Like, what was the behind the scenes of that shit?
So it's, because
I don't hear about a lot of them anymore, other than Houston.
Yeah, it's died down.
Now they do club style.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not a club.
Yeah,
right? We're not a club. Yeah. It's not. We don't claim to be. We don't do any of that. No disrespect to the clubs, but it's not a club. And at the end of the day, if guys want to pop one off in their city, hey, we'll help you out. We'll tell you what to do and help you with any kind of tips or tricks or what have you.
Yeah.
create your own logo, do your thing, and pop one off. Yeah, there was a time where there was a few of them popping off all at the same time. I mean, I think there was one in North Carolina. I think Charlotte maybe. I haven't heard anything out of that. Rio Grande Valley, I think one popped off there, but I haven't heard much of that. And then I think Central Oregon, if I'm not mistaken, one popped off there as well. And again, nothing. It just kind of popped off and then just dwindled away.
Well, it is tough to start a thing like that because, like you said, Dallas-Fort Worth is a big metroplex, right?
Yeah.
And, we're one of the top largest cities in America, so it's easier for us to find people that are like-minded. Even today, we'll still be riding around and be like, who the fuck is this dude with this bike? You know what I mean? Like, he didn't check with us first.
I've been seeing this guy with a white FXR fairing, FXRP fairing or something on a Dyna. Who the fuck is he?
But when you start getting out into the more rural states and cities and stuff across America, like when they're trying to create something, they might get discouraged because they have 4 dudes in their city, but like, man, you got to be good with that, man.
That's 3 more than a lot of places go.
Yeah, so you just got to be like, you got to be the guys. You got to just become tight and just start ripping and running, and people see what you're doing. And they want to be a part of it, so they'll join the.
If I remember correctly, somebody hit me up at one point and wanted to start one in some, small ass town in Oklahoma. I'm like, do it, bro. Do your thing. And he's like, man, I'm the only one. It's like, okay, you have one person, you don't have a crew. But okay, cool.
Rip it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the purpose makes sense because, having it, I get it. It's hard. I mean, you can be a part of such large communities online, right?
Yeah.
But the whole in-person thing becomes so much more real.
Yeah.
And finding a way to bring that together, using the bike nights as like a very old strategy, but a very relevant one to motorcyclists, especially for us south of 40 when we technically have a all year riding season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're able to usually stick to doing something bike night related throughout the whole year, even if we got to roll the car there once or twice.
That's
right.
You
know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
I'll put it in the van and drive it and unload it because these guys, they're closer, so some of these guys will ride and saw loaded up in the van and they're like, damn, you rode all the way from there? I'm like, nah.
It's at
the van around the corner, unload it. Just so I can still go on the little rip around town, though, which I think that's been – the stunt riding is a good thing to bring people – it's an attraction, you know what I mean? So it's like a –
yeah, absolutely.
It has its place for
with everything like – on the in the Dyna FXR, just everything world, stunt riding is like in the DNA of all the performance motorcycles, hands down, right?
Yeah, since forever ago.
And so when you look at like if you're a new guy coming into all this stuff, it would make sense that would be an appealing thing, like because oh man, I saw these dudes on fucking Unknown or the East Coast or whoever, right? Doing this stuff, and there's this group doing it here in the city I live in the town I live in, down the street. Yeah. Fuck, I want to go know these people. You know what I'm saying? So it's appealing, 100%. And then it's kind of like the first time I went to the street races after I watched Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
it happened. It's just straight. I mean, I grew up in the street races, but with my family. But like when I went as an adult in my Ford Focus.
Bone stock, yeah.
Bone stock. I had an air filter and the little side marker lights.
And the big exhaust tip.
Yeah. It was a standard, though.
Of course.
But no, like the first time I went to it, like that was my thing. I was like, fuck, dude, this is just like in the movie, which I know that shit. Nobody wants to admit to that type of stuff, but it's true. Like it was like I had found my new thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it's cool. It's
because at first you didn't know it was real. Like it's online, it's on a movie. Like I don't know if this shit's real or not. And then you witness it. You see dudes riding the bikes that you saw online, or they might even have a Dyna, but they just don't have all the parts. They don't even know where to go. Like that's why we have, hey, what fairing is that, bro? Memes now. You know what I'm saying? But no, I get it, man. It's a much needed thing, and that's I supported it when it came out and everything, Yeah,
it's cool.
Yep.
I enjoy it.
You don't want it to. I think the HTX Dyna dudes did it well because they had a lot of they have a huge community down there that's never really been super publicized, if that makes sense. But like with really, really strong players like Zombie Mike and then even the HTX FXR crew,
Yeah.
not crew, but
Yeah.
guys. I think they have a
They
different.
put a lot of effort into
Yeah.
things. A lot of effort. I mean, even their social media, their page, everything. They're always posting something. They always got some kind of flyer going on.
Which that's you have to in this.
Yeah.
It's
You have to
we're in
be-
2021. If you're not media marketing,
everything.
damn, you're fucking up.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's almost you almost need a. You can't always rely on just like your local content. You know what I'm saying? I think that's
right.
like my beef, or not beef, but my my quarrel. I think it's the same thing with like all the club style pages when they pop up, because they're club style and then location basically
It's
afterwards.
hilarious how many club style pages. It's like club style, friggin' some like off the beaten path.
Yeah.
town.
But I was like, if you're gonna do that, to me, I feel like you're only allowed to post things out of your town,
Yeah.
or your state.
Yeah,
So,
because they'll be posting like the Japanese guys on their FXRs.
if you're club style Iowa, bro, I don't want to see anything from Illinois.
Yeah, or Japan.
Exactly, or anywhere
None of
else.
that.
Don't
Can't
post
tell
that.
you, I can't tell you how much shit I get because the name is the Dynacologist. I post anything but a Dyna. I got guys on there. Well, that's a fucking FXR. That's an. What are you doing? Dude, it's a bike. Like it fits the style. You know what I mean? Like
Well, then you're not the gynecologist. You can't be the gynecologist if you can't tell the difference
I never
between
said that I'm
a
only
fucking
posting-
tranny dyna
Listen,
and
I
a
never said that I'm
fucking
strictly
real one.
posting Dynas. I'm a
Does it have shocks or
gynecologist,
not,
I got a
Paul?
Dyna. I ride a Dyna.
Well, nobody knew what was going to happen with bikes or with the Dyna.
Yeah,
it
they-
seems like the Dyna everything craze started, and then like the next year, it
Like fucked it up. What are they doing?
came to M8. The
Get rid
Dyna
of
was
the Dyna,
gone.
man.
It's like, fuck, I just started an Instagram page.
We all hate. I could just.
It's
Dude,
going
I gotta
10,000
change it.
I got 10,000 followers now. But people that ride the Softail, they all say they like it actually. So I can't knock it. I've never
have you
ridden
seen
one.
a lot of the Softails doing stunts yet, though? I haven't seen a lot of them.
I've seen a couple.
Joe does. Highside Joe. He
does?
They gave him one of the Harleys out there. I think. I don't know. I hate to say which one, but one of them gave him one, and he was doing it stock. So it had like some I don't know if they were apes, but he was stunting it
The
with
mini apes. And
yeah,
shit.
whatever on it and forward controls, but he was still smashing it. But now I think he's got it pretty dialed in, and so yeah, there is some people stunning them, but the people that got them from the dealerships,
I mean, it's also like a bike that you're probably paying over 10 grand for.
yes, if they're probably 15 grand, 18 grand or something, who knows what they are now.
Yeah.
But so it's hard to get that and then put $5,000 worth of parts on it and then go beat the
Yeah.
shit out of it.
Yeah, but those fucking 99 to 05 Dynas, you can get those things for.
Not no more. They're almost
Yeah,
$9,000 for them now.
man.
Damn, you can find them, but whoever all these.
I've had luck, man. I've found some like lowriders and shit for like $2,000, $2,500.
Oh, I hope
My last dyno was one I got out of Houston that was hell yeah, brothered out to the max. Had everything you could, a whip, and I even said, yeah, I'll take the whip. Somebody will buy it.
On there. Why not?
He had it for sale on Marketplace for $2,600. I offered him $2,000. Drove down there, picked it up, swung by Austin on the way back from Houston, and picked up some some mid controls because obviously, hell yeah, brother. Mid controls, I think a set of bars, and I bought a cam chest.
So you got your
from
Dyna starter
Mark.
pack on your way
Yeah,
home.
on my way home, like the whole thing, and I ended up only being like $4,000 in the whole thing with all the extra shit I ended up buying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I have that 99 convertible right now that I
99 still twin cam, right?
yes.
98's the fucking
Yeah.
Evos, yeah.
And I bought it just because I got a good deal on it, and the motor the guy blew the motor, so he's got to put a brand new crate motor. So I got the whole bike for the price of the motor essentially, and then I pulled the motor out, put it in my bike, and then when this 100-inch motor's done getting fixed for the third time, I'm going to put it in that bike. And I say I'm going to sell it, but I'd really like to sell it as just a roller for the same price as I have in the whole thing.
Yeah. Just keep that extra motor.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, you fucked up now. You said it on here.
What's up? Yeah, come on, I got a 99 convertible with a clean title. Where you at?
But so how was it like going through like the pandemic and shit? Like when, I know we struggled with the T-Bar Tuesday stuff because we, Deep Ellum shut down.
Yeah.
Like they were boarded up.
That's because it's Dallas, and y'all are Democrats out here. So
We did it. went that.
Y'all damn Democrats out here. Y'all got the city shut down with
They didn't ride in Fort Worth at
with
all?
the National Guard. Y'all got all kind. I remember
Did they ride it all in
We
Fort
were
Worth?
coming back. Where were we
Yeah,
coming
they
back
did.
from? With it had to have been the hood ride with Brad, because Brad, we were coming back. Was it the hood ride?
When he
Or maybe one of the
busted his
bike
clutch or something?
Yeah, his clutch cable. We were right there in downtown Dallas, and it was just they had cops passing by. We were on the sidewalk. He held it together with like some tweezers and some.
No, I think he went to ride with y'all one night, and y'all were all doing wheelies, and he went
Okay,
up
maybe
there
it was
with
just
you
we were
guys.
cruising one night or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony rigged it together with some toenail clippers and some tweezers or some shit.
Fucking Magoober.
Yeah, it worked though, dude. But yeah, so the pandemic was no problem. We still had bike nights. We just pretended like it
I
was
came
legal.
to one during the pandemic I thought was fucking like a really smooth criminal type thing where you had like the Dirty Crow had it's not quite, is it an actual patio yet, or is it still like
it's not an actual patio. They sectioned off a portion of their parking lot.
Yeah.
They set up picnic tables, that kind of thing. And I mean, yeah, they were closed just like any other bar. What we did, we were just like, what, fuck it, we're going to show up anyways. There's a liquor store right there, which remained open.
Mm-hmm.
We popped in there, grabbed
Essential business.
Essential.
essential business, right? Grabbed 12 packs, whatever, 6 packs, what have you, and we just hung out there with our.
I thought it
bikes.
was cool that the cops didn't fuck with you about it.
The cops
Not at
would
all.
chill.
They would
Yeah.
ride right past us, and we'd be like, 10 or 12 bikes, and all of us sitting on picnic tables drinking beer,
Yeah.
and like they didn't care. They just rolled right by.
Yeah.
And then we'd go on little cruises around town and go just because
A
it was
little
ghost
mob out,
town.
yeah.
It was-
So that's what happened when I came with you guys. I came out that one time. I still had it expired, or not expired, a suspended license, right? And so I'm like, I'll go to this bike night. I'm just chilling. I don't do wheelies. I don't do anything crazy, right? So, and then y'all like, hey, we're gonna go do this like loop through town, and I'm like, okay. And then like it's like
2 seconds later, I saw, because I was behind you and you just peeled off. You're like, adios, I'm out.
we got way too close to 35. I was like, oh, I got 2 more weeks before I'm off fucking probation or whatever the fuck it was, suspension. But the reason why like I never, like when we would do the T-Bar Tuesday, we would never do the riding afterwards is kind of because of that.
Yeah.
Back in in the beginning of 2017, we did a New Year's ride, which we kind of were. It kind of was like our New Year's anniversary thing we'd always did. We used to just do a ride. And it was the first time we'd ever done like something where all the Dyna guys and FXR guys came together.
Yeah.
And we met up at Anvil, and we were going to ride to, I don't think we did Stroke. We rode to Living the Dream tattoo spot on Harry Hines. And from there, we went to Chopper Supply in Fort Worth.
Oh, right on.
And that trip from basically Strokers, essentially, to Fort Worth, everybody thought they were a stunt rider. Everybody was just balls to the wall.
Yeah.
It was just like, I'm surprised nobody wrecked. I mean, there was maybe 40 or 50 people out there, but
It was like when
just
you
wild.
got your first sport bike back
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the day, and you would
Yeah.
ride out to High Five, and everybody's doing like 130
Oh, yeah.
or 150 the whole way, splitting cars, passing on the shoulder, fucking in the ditch.
Yeah, acting like nothing applies to them. Yeah. And so I was just like, when we started doing one night we left Anvil and was like, hey, let's go hit the Velvet Taco spot down the street. Same thing. Like, it doesn't matter. It feels like anytime you get a couple dudes liquored up on their bike and they're in a group going somewhere,
Oh, yeah.
shit's getting wild. Burnouts are happening. We did see some.
Yeah.
We did get flashed though, so that's a good thing about doing burnouts and stunt riders is you get a little titty action here and there.
All right.
But I was just like, man, like this is, I'm drunk ish, and he's doing a burnout. And there are cops around here, and I don't want to be an accessory to this crime because I didn't, I still think, I had a suspended license for quite a while, due to some.
So you got to be
bullshit.
living. You got to be living different whenever you have that. You got to
Yeah.
be watching your ass. I can't be hanging out with no degenerates when I'm illegally driving around. Not in Texas. You don't mess with Texas. That's the rule.
So I just always felt like it was tough to create, like, if you just had a bike night and you just, hey, look, everybody can do whatever the fuck they want, right?
Yeah.
But this isn't like a bike night. Like High Five was a bike night where we would go there as like a precursor to the rest of the shenanigans of the night.
And then everybody break up in your group of what
Yeah.
kind of shenanigans do you like? Do you want to
Stunt
haul
riding,
ass and
racing.
Yeah.
Are you going to pick up chicks?
Yeah, exactly.
Those you guys weren't. Yeah, did you ever ride sport bikes or anything back in the day?
I did. So I don't know if you know. I think I may have told you. I'm originally from Canada.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
And so
he's definitely a liberal.
He's definitely a Democrat. Damn it, dude. He is so.
And so I started my riding experience with I think it was a 08 GSXR 750.
Nice.
I rode that for about 3 years, got rid of it, and just took a break, took like a 3-year break. And then after I got out of the Army here in the U.S., I had that itch. I just wanted to get back into it. And in 17, I bought my first Harley.
Nice.
You thought it was going to get you some pussy, though. Don't lie. That's why.
I mean, yeah. Actually, no. I was broke at the time. Never mind.
Did it work?
A little bit.
All right.
There you go. So, did you ever get to experience Sonic back?
Yeah,
in the day?
yeah. At High Five up there off of Luna or whatever.
No, High Five was one, but Sonic was...
No. I know. But that was long before the Sonic was. Yeah.
Sonic
Where is that?
place,
What was the exit off of that?
It was Northwest Highway and like...
yeah, I used to go with the DSR guys up there. Man.
So basically, Sonic was a thing. That was the biggest bike night for like... I want to say it was like 20 years that bike night took place. And then that got shut down because... Unfortunately, stunt riders.
Yeah.
And then it went to High Five while that chick was running it.
Yeah. I did go to the Sonic, and that one was they just pack in that motherfucker, like just.
Yeah.
But they couldn't care because there's just so much business. Like so many people are getting drinks and shit. But I was like, it was so much of a hassle. I can't believe they put up with it that long. And they would park the damn SWAT.
Yeah.
Truck across the street, that big bus.
Well, see, the funny thing about it though is that like, so I started going to Sonic in 04, right? And from what the people that I remember back in the day were telling me is that like, or if you think about stunt riding as a whole, like it really kind of evolved into something much different around 04, 5, and 6, and 7, right? It went from highway shit to parking lot shit for the most part.
Yeah.
Things got very technical. Dudes were slowing down on the highway instead of rolling with the traffic.
Yeah.
And the bike night, I mean, it was awesome. Like we'd go there, and then the front was just a straight. Dudes would do all kinds of trips, and as soon as someone did a wheelie, we would watch. And but what happened was, and I feel like DSR was part of that shit that would happen.
Memorial ride.
Yeah, it would be like, dude, it would be. 1,000 maybe 600,000 people,
hundreds and hundreds for sure, and shut down the highways. That's when it became a problem.
Yeah.
Once you stop traffic, like, and even now, like if we can go hood ride, if we have a group of like 3 or 4 of us on sport bikes or even on dynos, we can go ride pretty much all day long and not have any trouble, because as long as the cars have one lane to pass you on the road, they pretty much don't care. Yeah, cool, whatever, or they don't like it and they just go around you and who cares. But when you're blocking and they can't go around you and you're impeding traffic, that's when they start calling the cops wild. And they start trying to swerve around you, and just, it causes all kinds of...
That's when the conservative in them comes out.
Yeah, that's when the Karens come out there. You motherfucker.
We're here doing y'all BLM protests and shit.
No, we try to do it right.
Talking about Bureau of Land Management. Calm down.
We try to make it.
But no, it's it was so that was kind of like the some of my fondest memories being on a motorcycle came from the groups of people I would meet at bike nights.
Yeah.
It was exciting and new back then. The whole thing of it, I feel like, was new and exciting. And
yeah.
It was, you were probably young. Like I went back then too. I had an 05 Gixxer 600, and when I would go, I was like 17 or 18 or something back then, and 19 maybe. And dude, for me, it was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
like
I mean,
said,
it was like the whole
street
thing.
races when you go for the first time. You're like, these dudes do
this
what?
is real.
All night long. It's midnight. We're getting serious pizza and Deep Ellum, and you're still gonna go ride some more. Like, damn.
So there was another bike night that predated that bike night, and it used to be on Saturday nights at the Whataburger on Northwest Highway, and it was like across the what's that strip club right there? I don't know if you know. It's across the street from Whataburger before you jump into Irving, across that Trinity River Bridge.
I don't know. I don't do strip
So
clubs too
yeah,
much, so.
I don't either. I'm not allowed to. So
I'm not allowed to. You married man, you. No, that's probably a good thing. You save your money.
but apparently that one, I was talking to someone at that bike night once, and they said, yeah, we've been coming here since '92, and this was like in 07.
Shit.
Yeah, I didn't ever go there. The first place I ever went
It was
the
never
Sonic.
that. It was never nowhere near as big as the Sonic. It seemed like a much more core, intimate group of guys.
Yeah.
That they were just like, they would meet up, and these were the guys that's like, we're doing 200 miles, like doing the loops around town. Because that was the thing too for a while, is on a sport bike, it wasn't shit to be
Biker
like,
Boys came out with, and everybody wants to race them, drop, stretch, airbrush, chrome.
Calm down.
Hey, them motherfuckers got badass bikes though. Like the bikes would be so nice, and them dudes would just
They race on dirt roads.
We would be yeah,
and they stop at T intersections.
we would be stunt riding though, and you just say, yeah, meow, 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 meow. Like, damn,
it was wild, man. But you know, for the newer people that didn't get to experience that, yeah, in a sense, I don't know what it's like to go into a bike night for the first time now, right? Back then, most young people rode sport bikes. There was very, very few people that I knew of that were, you know, I say our age, I'm almost 40 now, but in their early 20s or early 30s that were riding Harleys. Right? So when you would go to Sonic, you saw this 500 people every week at this bike night. So you had your street racers, your stunt guys, your show bike guys, your I'm here to get pussy guys, your katana guys, which
they were there though,
bro.
Yeah, no, you did. It was a good collection of everybody.
Yeah,
and it was a good thing.
And so when you look at this world that we have now, Harleys are a massive world, but it's very, very
segregated.
It's
the high school. Yeah. It's the high school cafeteria.
It is 100%.
At lunchtime, there's the.
What about like, do you get like guys that are obviously not kind of into the style of bike that stumble into the bike nights every once? Do you feel like they stick around, or they feel like it's just not for them?
Yeah, so a lot of guys I noticed, they started off on a Dyna and then slowly migrated to something else, like a baggers,
because they get old and they get an old lady and they want to go. They have this thought that they want to go.
Brad, you just get a fucking dually.
Fucking Brad, dude. Where is Brad? Is he watching?
He probably is. He probably just had to get off right now because his old lady saw him watching.
Brad, did you fold that laundry on the couch? I miss Brad.
There's been a lot of guys that been showing up with different style of bikes. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's DFW Dyna Crew bike night, but you get everything that shows.
Yeah, we get some cool old choppers sometimes. Some of the Dallas guys come out there sometimes. Who was I don't know, like Jaden and a bunch of Jaden and Kyle.
Yeah. I mean, at one point I remember I forget their names, but the whole like Cholo Softail guys. They all showed up, in a group, and it was cool to see those bikes. I mean,
we get some old guys with FXRs. He's like, he came out a few weeks ago, and he's like, this is my newest but youngest bike or whatever. It's like a 92.
Yeah.
So we do have all kinds of anybody. I think probably most people probably just drive by at some point and they're like, every Thursday they're there.
They hear about it, they see it on Instagram. I mean,
but it's cool. We've been getting a shit ton of people, it seems like. I mean, I say shit ton, but
it fluctuates. It's up and down. I mean, it's there's some days, some nights, Thursday nights that we're getting like easy 40, 50 bikes out there. And then other nights it's like perfect weather, no excuse for it not to be packed.
Like 9 of us.
Like 10 dudes show up.
You're like, what the fuck?
It's like,
That's kind of like the curse and the benefit of doing a weekly bike night, where the weekly part of it makes it to where you don't have to necessarily promote it. It's like
everybody knows.
It becomes
second nature for the most part.
But it also becomes so easily available that it doesn't matter if you don't go. Who cares?
Yeah.
Whereas if you do a monthly one, it's a long time to look forward to, and there's only going to be one. So you got to go.
Too. Yeah.
So it's kind of but I feel like you can maintain way closer bonds with people, and dude, let's be real. Everybody needs a reason to get out of the house once a week.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it becomes a therapy session in the most part for a lot of
go
guys.
Hang out, bullshit,
I
smoke,
can tell
drink.
you right now, for me, just through bikes, I've met some people that I'm going to consider friends or family for the rest of my life. I mean, it's that way. One of the first people I've met, Justin Kelly.
Yeah.
From Hang'em High Customs. I mean, literally one of the first guys I've met. He did some work on my street bob at the time. I mean, solid dude, veteran. I mean, I can't speak enough about that guy.
Yeah, he's
Cracker, same thing.
He's kicking ass.
His wife Courtney. Our kids are.
Yeah, Cracker was supposed to be on this podcast, by the
Cracker,
way.
Yeah, he's
working
gay,
a
working
double shift right
doubles.
Fucking responsible adult.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, dude, you quit that job.
Yeah, dude. Quit.
Do you really need that job?
You really need that, buddy? But yeah, I mean, Tony, same thing. I mean, a bunch of people, Daniel. I mean, people that I'll consider to be family for the rest of my life, and so that's what it brought to me. And I mean, I never expected it, but it definitely brought that to me. So.
Yeah.
And even as a person, it made me mellow out. I was a pretty uptight asshole back in the day.
Because you're Canadian, dude. You're a Democrat. Let's be real. Straight up.
Canadians are the most chill people out
Yeah,
there.
right. You're up there. It's cold all the time. They're up there miserable and freezing.
I mean,
just
that's why I left.
fucking
man.
pissed
Texas,
off.
fucking
The
80,
Grinch
90
up
degree
there.
heat. Yeah, I'll take that. No
What part of
worries.
Canada were you from?
Toronto.
Toronto?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Definitely a Democrat.
No.
I don't know.
It's more.
It's a big city.
Toronto's
I
like
just
more
imagine.
New Yorker than fucking.
I just imagine-
Western New York.
Yeah.
I imagine it's probably just liberal because it's
Yeah.
a big.
I don't know. Don't get it fucked up. Canada's
give 'em
very
a-
liberal.
I know.
Yeah,
they're like
Canada's very
French,
liberal.
right? So they're kind of.
Ontario as a province is a very liberal province. But no, I'm conservative as fuck.
What do you think makes it that way up there? Not to
I
get
don't
too
know.
political.
They're
but-
French. They're French descendants.
No, only one
right?
province is French. And
But I'm
that's
saying a lot of the people up there are French backgrounds. I don't know. Dude, why are we? Dude, come on. Let's talk about this bike night, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing right now? Paul,
There's
gives out
one
his
province
Canadian
that's
shit.
predominantly French, and that's Quebec. Great province. I love Quebec. I've been up to Montreal and Quebec City numerous times. Great places, great party towns.
But did you ride Dynas there?
No, I didn't get.
Then we don't give a shit.
I didn't get into diamonds until here. But.
Yeah, we gave you that herpes, huh?
I love it though. It's a good.
But you know what? The Dyna scene up in Toronto is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think
Stunt
Toronto. Even I know of a scene in Calgary that's
Yep.
pretty heavy.
Yep.
I don't know much about Vancouver though.
Yeah, I don't either. I know Toronto has got, Crooked Clubhouse out there.
Yeah.
Highway Heathens.
Could you imagine trying to be a stunt rider in Canada? Snowing.
there-
Let's go rent a gym.
There is a scene. They
Yeah.
got a lot of shit going on up there.
That Crooked Clubhouse, they have like the dopest shirts.
Yeah.
And me and Scott from Simpson, we talk about it all the time. We're like, dude, man, just get them to do a design for Simpson.
Yeah.
That way we can, because Simpson needs to step up their clothing game.
Yeah.
For the most part. And yeah, I was telling them because Crooked Clubhouse has the sickest designs. Like when they did that Full Metal Jacket of that helmet, the green one, I was like, fucking sick.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember
That was sick as shit, dude. I was like, y'all are dropping
And then,
ball.
in Alberta, you mentioned Calgary. Alberta, the province of Alberta, great scene up there. Great couple companies. Evil Empire up there, sick.
I think isn't 666 custom
666
paint?
Customs.
Yeah.
They're out of there.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
does. That's some. I've followed them on Instagram.
Yeah.
There's some dope ass.
I love his flame jobs, dude. I'm about to copy the shit out of one of them. You can't copy flames, so I'm gonna copy his.
No, they do some nice.
I mean,
Every time I see a cool paint job, I'm like,
It's triple
of course,
six, yeah.
that's who who
There's
it is.
Odin up there as well.
Odin.
I mean, they're killing it too.
Are they in Calgary?
I think so. Either Calgary or Edmonton. One
Okay.
of the two, or in between somewhere, but definitely Alberta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie, can you check? Can we find out?
I want to ride it. So I want to ride to Canada. There's two sections of Canada I want to ride. It's Nova Scotia and then the western part, like Calgary
Alaska?
West.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you go up to Calgary, then you start jumping over the mountains.
Yeah.
I'm saying this. I have no idea.
So
but
Western Canada, you're going to have a lot of
Like
mountainous
Banff
areas.
and shit like that.
Yep. British Columbia, great. I mean, British Columbia is more so like Washington State, so you got to be careful with the weather because it's like very rainy
Okay.
out there. But yeah, great riding up there, crazy. yeah, just a lot of good riding everywhere, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nova Scotia's great. Great spot as well.
Nova Scotia just feels like that. It's like the closest to like Europe we're ever gonna get in the North America. I don't know. There's something about riding up there that's like a bucket list thing. But obviously, I've talked about it 1,000 times on this podcast. But like, if you have a DWI or any type of heavy,
I'm out of there.
Yeah, you can't get in.
If you, DWI and any kind of serious anything, I think the Canadian Border Services Agency will stop you.
You got to be like 8 years clear of a charge or some
Supposedly-
felony charges. They're pretty.
So when I was on probation, I was actually talking with a very predominant performance bagger shop up there that I don't want to talk about. But I was going to go up there and do some stuff with those guys. And I was telling my probation, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go right up to fucking Canada and do some things with this. And she's like, I don't care if you go, but I don't think you can get in, buddy. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, you know, they have this law with stuff. And then she sent me like a link to this thing about George W. Bush had a hard time getting into Canada because he had a DWI in his past. And he's the fucking president of the United States. Yeah. So I was like, what? I didn't know shit about that stuff. So, but I mean, it's a beautiful, I've always seen just amazing things about like rides up there, things.
Yeah.
The cities all have something about them that's, you know, pretty dope. And, you know, what was that one TV show that was real? Trailer Park Boys. Isn't that from Canada?
I was gonna. If you mentioned Letterkenny, I always get hit with Letterkenny. Oh, did you watch Letterkenny?
I'm from the hood, from the OG status. We watch Trailer Park Boys.
Okay, I didn't watch it ever.
Oh well,
never.
It's a good show.
Under TV.
The dude wanted to go back to jail to finish a hockey tournament. Oh man, it was a good time. But no, man, it's dope. So, what brought you to America? Was it
so? My entire life, ever growing up as a child,
he just wanted to be an American, dude.
It's true. That's essentially it. Yeah, I love the United States.
Amen.
Absolutely love the United
States. You're like that kid where you go, he goes, America.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so I met my now ex-wife up there, and she was originally from here. And
I like where this is going.
Yeah.
And she was up there, and I met her, and she was born and raised Arlington, Texas.
Yeah.
And we got married and did the whole green card thing. And
so you used her?
No,
to get in here. He did.
I mean, it was
sneaky little Canadian.
I mean,
how'd you meet her though? Like,
she was up there. She was in a relationship with a Canadian guy prior to me, and that relationship fizzled. She was still up there. And that's when I met her.
Swooped in.
So you stole her away.
Yep, took her away. And
piece of shit.
Yeah, did the whole green card thing. And then once I got my green card, I literally got in my truck and drove down to the Buffalo border, in processed, if you will, and then drove straight to the Army recruiter in Buffalo, New York, and began that process. I enlisted in the United States Army right away. That was another thing for me, was I was huge about the U.S. military.
What was it about the U.S. military versus the Canadian?
Man,
is the fact that we're involved in shit?
I'm going to get shit.
It's the fact that it's like if you're going to play on an NFL team, like, I want to be with Tom Brady. Like,
yeah. I mean, pretty much. He's not wrong.
Can I just play with the fucking...
I want to be on the winning team of all wars. So
I've always appreciated the magnitude of the U.S. military. You know what I mean? It was just a strong-ass world power, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And I was just like, I'm about it. And I enlisted, man. I became a private first class at the age of 30.
For real?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep, 30 years old. My counterparts were all 17, 18-year-old kids. I mean, no joke, dude. All my sergeants.
Like Billy Madison in there.
Yeah, pretty much. I was Billy Madison of the United States Army.
Of boot camp.
What do they usually start cutting it off? Is it based on physical...
No,
35, I think, right?
Everybody that enlists has to go through MEPS, which is basically a military entrance processing station. I think that's correct. And that's where they do all your medical, you know, make sure you're fit to go. But the age, I think, is, for the Army, I think it's 35. It used to be 42, like way back when, but it's 35. Same thing for the Navy. Marines, I wanted to be a Marine first. Just going to be honest with you. I wanted to be a Marine first, but me being already 30 at the time, their age cutoff was 29. And so they're like, no go for me.
It's kind of like showing up at fucking
if you couldn't
McDonald's
cut it. Yeah,
35. Bro.
I mean,
I would like a cash register position.
If I really, really, really wanted to dig into it, I could have potentially gotten an age waiver, just based on physical performance, so on and so forth.
Yeah. There's still an option.
Yeah. But Army was the quickest way. Navy wasn't really an option for me. No disrespect to the Navy, but I wasn't interested. Air Force, age out at 27, same thing. So Army's the route I went. I just I shipped off to boot camp. Literally, like I think 2 or 3 weeks after having my first kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why do you think they do 28 and 27 years old? Like, I feel like at 35, well, maybe not 35, probably because that's when you're pretty peak 27. But I think there's
if you stay healthy, I would say
in your 30s, you're in
maybe
good,
33,
great shape.
35.
You're definitely stronger.
Health,
Yeah.
but probably in your 20s, you probably have a less chance of being injured as you get older.
And if you do get injured, you're going to bounce back quicker.
Yeah.
Right. When you're in your 30s now, you're like bedridden for a while.
Man, I'm not going to say I got fucked because that's the wrong way to say this.
You could tell us about the camp out.
There was a part of me growing up in the 90s. I grew up with the Gulf War. How old are you?
I'm 38. I'll be 39 in a month.
So we're the same
dude,
age.
y'all are old
Same
as
age,
fuck.
right? So I grew up.
Shit.
I grew up with like the Gulf War, and then right when I graduated is 2 months later is when 9/11 happened, right?
Yeah.
And I probably could have easily been convinced to join the military prior to 9/11 happening.
Right.
Even though it's the most coward thing to say, like, I don't want to join the military because we got to go to war now. I didn't know where or who the fuck I was or what I didn't know. I was fucking scared. You know what I mean? Like, not scared of going to war or fighting or anything, like scared of like, I don't want to go and then they tell me I have to do this and I'm not prepared to be, to let down my guard and be, directed in a sense like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how people say some kids are uncoachable?
Yeah.
I was always that kind of kid. Like, I was good at what I did, but I had my own version of how I wanted to do it. And I've always said this, my good buddy who went he did 2 or 3 tours and did contracts, we'd always talk about it. It's like, man, I'm like, if me and you were walking down the street in Afghanistan or fucking Iraq and we're clearing areas or some shit like that, and our commanding officer said, hey, go clear that alley, and I'm looking down that alley going, it's a fucking bomb or something. This thing, right? I'm like, I ain't doing that. Just throw some rocks down there or some shit, Like, I don't know if I was willing to give up that mental control of making those type of decisions on my own versus allowing someone else to make them for me.
Well, that's just it for me. So when I enlisted, I was 30 years old, and I literally had sergeants that were 23, 24-year-old kids. I'm like, my commanding officer for my unit was younger than me.
Yeah.
I mean, smart as fuck chick, but I mean,
He's a girl?
yeah.
Nice.
She was your daddy, wasn't she?
Stop. No, she's one of the smartest people I know. I can't say enough about her. Yeah, she was an excellent.
I fucked up and said he's. I misgendered it. Sorry.
But no, I mean, it was a good time. I ended up deploying down to Guantanamo Bay.
What was that like?
So
damn.
Honestly,
do they really do cockney sandwiches?
That's where they send Canadians when you join the fucking military. They say you go straight to Guantanamo Bay,
to a tropical island.
Yeah.
No, honestly, Guantanamo was badass. It was 9 months. Tropical environment. You can go get your scuba license down there, go snorkeling, do the coral reef shit.
Nice.
I mean, you're not in any real danger or anything. I mean, we got all our hazard duty pay, danger pay, all that kind of stuff. But my unit was there for the detainee operations out of there. So one thing that happened of significance down there when we were there, I don't know if y'all recall, but we exchanged 5 top-level Taliban guys in exchange for that Bo Bergdahl guy that deserted.
Yeah, now he's one of the guys that...
Yeah, and so my unit is who facilitated that release, that exchange in exchange for the deserter guy. So yeah, no, but it was, as far as deployments go, I mean, I can't say a bad thing about it. I mean, it was one of the only deployments you can drink at. So you're buying like literally tax-free booze and getting fucked up every weekend.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was.
You come home and buy a Dyna.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amen. That's living the life.
That's awesome though.
You're saving a fuck ton of money and you come home and buy a Dyna.
Man, it's there's a part of me, I know if I would have joined and had that deployment, maybe I would have felt like guilty. Yeah, I don't know. I hate speaking on this stuff because it's so touchy for the people that did it, go through the different experiences. But like, man, like if like say you went to boot camp with certain people and those guys went this direction, you go this direction, and you know. The
only thing I can say to that, and to anybody that feels that way, it's I enlisted at a time of war.
Yeah.
Okay, Afghanistan was still popping off. People that I went through basic with and all that, yeah, they went to Afghanistan, did all that. I don't get to decide where I go.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I show up and they tell me. It's that simple. I don't get to say, oh, yeah, I want to go here, I want to go there. It's not like that.
For sure, yeah.
So I just so happened to have lucked out and went to a tropical environment where I drank. Got fucked up.
Margaritaville.
Can't be mad at that.
No, that's awesome though, man. Well, you know, that's cool that you got to do that and you made that decision when you came to America and shit. So how long did you stay in the military? That's until recent.
Yeah, just one enlistment. I didn't want to make it a career or do anything like that. I stayed in for one enlistment, got out, wanted to continue on with life, and so here I am. Once I got out, I got hired on with a construction company that had me all over the country. I was only coming home like every other weekend, maybe. And so, other than that, I was off on a project location somewhere, you know, in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to see a lot of the country. A lot of cool people I met. One of my last projects with that company, I was in North Carolina, just outside of Fort Bragg. And I met all the Death Wish boys. I don't know if you know Death Wish motorclothes. Yeah, I met all those guys and the owner, Jeremy, and got to be good friends with him and everything. So,
nice.
It was, just the scene out there, the motorcycle scene out in North Carolina was pretty bad.
They do have a solid scene.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes out of Charlotte over there.
Yeah, my boy Joe.
Yep.
Over there. He's
so
kicking ass.
North Carolina's a pretty, you know, Texas is a huge state, right?
Huge.
But North Carolina is big too because the cities are filled with, I don't know, like they have big cities and they got good scenes, but I don't know, it doesn't seem like it all connects the same way we connect with Houston and San Antonio and Austin and shit.
We're just so big. Most places don't have multiple major metroplexes, I feel.
Yeah, yeah.
Charlotte's
a big city, but
it's
compared to like, you know, what was it, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, all that, the Tri-Cities up there, it's you know, that's just like Waco.
They got some cool. I want to go hit some bridges over there in North Carolina, up by Charlotte.
Man,
there's one good one that I see Joe post doing wheelies on. I'm like, I want to.
Is that your thing? Like, I want another notch in the bedpost for wheelies across bridges.
Just different places. Like sometimes you see like you see a dope place, and you're like, man, I want to go ride there.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, sometimes you see, like the bridge down in Corpus Christi, that big monster. Like I want to try to wheelie it, and it's just because it's so fucking big, dude. And
would you do it without a camera?
Ooh, I mean, yeah, maybe. I hit every time I go to bike night on the way up there, I go 35 west, and then I hit 30, and that's the biggest, tallest bridge right there in Fort Worth. And every time I do, it's like our bike night's at 7, but people show up 7:30ish, so it's always right about sunset time during the summer. And every time I always tell myself, if I ever exit and there's no cars behind me, I'm going to wheelie this whole bridge. It's the only one that I haven't done. I've never done that bridge on my Harley, but I've done it on my sport bike all the time. And one night for bike night, I exited and there was no cars behind me finally, and I was all by myself, and I just look back, there's like no video, no nothing, but I was like, I didn't care. I finally hit it, did the whole deal, super high on life and feeling good about myself. I pulled up the bike night, and I was like, the week before that, I tried to scrape and almost ate shit because the road's crowned. And I scraped and I set it down, and it goes a little wobbly, but we saved it. And so I was like, well, I'm not going to do it down there anymore where all the bikes are, just in case I ever did. I don't want to, be that guy. So I was going to just pull right in and do it right out of the red light before the stop sign. And then I did So as soon as I did that one all by myself, I felt good. Pulled up, scraped it, wrecked my bike, put a dent in my tank.
Oh, I remember that time.
Fuck.
You need some more beer? I'm gonna go grab another beer.
I'm
And,
good. I'm good.
Piss.
I'll take one.
Carry it on real quick.
Let me get a, what is this?
A yellow
Coors
Coors Banquet.
A banquet. Yeah. Where's Sax at? Put him in.
It's actually do a
What's on the
selfie.
road? Chocolate starfish. What are y'all talking about?
They're referring to me.
Calling
They think
Paul
I
Fred
they think I
Durst.
look like
They're
Fred
saying Paul
Durst.
looks like Fred Durst. Yeah, that's straight.
Just say it one
I
time.
can never wear a white shirt with a fucking red hat ever.
Well,
I get my balls broken.
it could be worse, I guess.
Just do it all for the nookie, dude. So did y'all hear they put a slab out where our camp out is?
They put a what?
Adam Sandoval's, he put a concrete slab for doing burnouts and,
I
and
saw
shit
it.
like that.
What? A
saw it.
little
I walked past
burnout
it.
checkpoint
Little
pit.
Yeah.
That's what's
I was
up.
literally at K River this past weekend, and I walked past it. I'm like, fuck, they got a wheel chalk. There's basically 2 lanes, if you will. And they got a wheel chalk on one, and then it's just wide open on the other.
How long is it?
I'd say probably 1.5 to 2 bike lengths.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's enclosed too, so it's like there's a barrier at the end of it, or at the front of it, I should say. You know what I'm saying? So
So it's a standstill burnout
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
spot.
okay.
Okay. That's
Well,
cool. That's hell
that's
yeah,
better-
brother.
better than nothing,
We're, hey,
I guess.
hey, just wait. You know what's going down. Let about 10 beers deep into somebody, and it's going to be down. It's going to be nice.
We need a big, probably 40 by 40 right in the middle.
Yeah, dude, like a basketball court would be
Nice,
perfect.
nice campground you have here. We're gonna throw a huge slab down.
That'd be nice. That's a cool spot, though. That really is. That's like one of the.
It was
To
cool.
me, it's the
You know
coolest
what?
spot.
I went
It's
up
it's
there
good.
because me and my girlfriend Whitney, she wanted to go camping, and we checked all the different parks,
I never had one.
all the state parks around here, and everybody was booked to like January. And then I think I asked you, and I don't know why I didn't think of this, but then you
Yeah, he
suggested-
posted on the chat, and he's like, "Hey, how do we get a hold of that guy that runs the K River Campground?" And I was like,
Just call 'em.
"Just call up there at K River Campground."
And they were cool as shit too. I called them, and because every other state park around Texas literally booked up to January, like you can't even pitch a fucking tent.
That's
And
just gay.
yeah. And so I called them. They're like, "Shit, we're wide open. Come on down." And it was a good time. It was a blast.
So the good thing about them is if you let them know that you're a veteran,
They hooked us up.
you camp for free.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yep. No, they hooked us up. I mean, nicest people down there, had everything. I mean, what we needed, firewood.
No, it's the perfect spot. I'm glad the Campout does that there because
Yeah.
that's a good. It's a place that everybody should go camp and ride the hills, and like you should do that at least once. You
Yeah,
have to.
the riding up there is good, but another good place up there that you can go to, like with the chicken stuff, is at Broken Bow. You ever did any of that?
No,
It's fucking
I
nice.
heard good things about Broken Bow. Yeah.
It's nice. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of, there's like this part you drive through that's old, and then you get to all the new shit, and you can tell it's new because the wood's fresh, right?
Yeah.
But they're just building like Airbnb cabins everywhere. Every one of them sick as fuck, has like hot tubs and all the shit you could want to do. Breweries, they got a badass lake you can go ride around with some good riding. It's beautiful up there, it really is.
how far is that?
So you know Talamina Parkway?
Yep.
You know in the middle of the parkway they have the where you can get off and kind of turn around and go back?
Yeah.
Well, if you get off in the middle and you go straight south, it takes you straight to Broken Bow. That's the
How long do you
compressor
think?
on.
Roughly.
Wow. That's wild. Huh?
How long do you think?
It's probably 2.5, 3. It's probably 3 hours from here. It's like a little over 200 miles.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. It's like closer than Texarkana. Further than K River, but not that much further. Yeah. Sorry, guys. My compressor it's off, but not off on the switch. So bear with us. Can you hear it pretty good in there? Oh, you can't?
No.
But,
Yeah. No.
Dude, you got the holes patched up.
Yeah, Brad finally
Time
came through.
out. Look out, Brad. I see you, boy. I just noticed that. We got to give credit for that.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it throws the room off. I feel like I need black ones or something. Brad really.
They're on back order for sure.
On back order for 6 more
They're
years.
in the Caspian Sea or wherever the fuck. People got it all fucked up right now.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole,
Brad better come to the bike night. Brad, if you're listening, if you're one of the 30 whatever, you better come to the damn bike night. That's for sure.
Yeah, good luck.
His bike's running.
Yeah. I don't know if he has it, the availability. He can get away with it.
He's got to be, at least, if nothing else, show up in the bag truck and come drink a beer with us.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of great things going on in Texas, like I said, with what you guys are doing.
Honestly, with the help of Zach, Cracker, Tony, Kenny, these guys are taking it to a totally different level on the DFW Dyna Crew base. You know what I mean? Like they're taking it. They're bringing the stunt scene. They're developing a scene here in Texas. It's getting noticed. It's getting recognition. The bike night that we're doing on the 29th at Texas Harley, that's going to have a stunt component to it, obviously, amongst other things. Those guys are just bringing it to a whole different level. The amount of work that they're putting in, a lot of personal time, a lot of personal injury, a lot of personal money going into it, breaking their shit.
I feel it.
Yeah.
You're right, dude.
Yeah, I love it. I love watching it. I love being a part of it. I don't stunt myself because I don't want to fuck my shit up.
You're an adult. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So, I got
That's
other
right.
bills. I can't afford to have my shit.
Yeah, you're grown. That's the best way to put it. Us guys that are stunt riders, we're definitely probably not fully grown.
Don't get me wrong. I've had
feel
lucid dreams of being a stunt rider before.
Yeah.
It's the gayest thing I'm ever going to admit on this podcast.
Were you thumb gunning beers and
No, just like I don't know where this came up, but I remember this dream specifically because it was funny to me when I woke up. I was like, why the fuck am I dreaming about that? You know what I mean? But it was like, how some people dream like they can fly?
Yeah.
I had this dream that I could just ride a wheelie at any pace, speed, or anything, anywhere. Just
yeah. It's a superpower. You felt superpower, right?
It's like almost a superpower. So I get it. Like I understand like the I think when, like we were talking about earlier, like when Kenny was looking at the Bell Brawl and talking about how it's like he's at the fucking Super Bowl for things, right? Like even though I don't stunt ride, like I understand. I don't get it personally, but I understand, like, because whenever I would get nerding out about like, oh man, we're gonna go fucking take these roads and go across this lake, it's like, when I say we're just doing the same riding you do in Dallas, but we're just going across a badass lake at the same point. You know what I mean?
It's a skill set. It's one of those types of things that I would even consider it a sport. It's where it's a skill set. You're learning shit. You're going through it, and I appreciate the fuck out of it. I don't do it, but I appreciate the fuck out of it, and I appreciate what these guys are doing.
Well, that's what makes the scene great here in Dallas, is that there is a group of guys that if you are interested in doing that, then there is a ground zero where you can kind of go and meet people that are going to give you the opportunity to come out and learn. And that's one thing Zach's always done. And he's been, he took Brad from doing power wheelies to fucking scraping.
Yeah.
One day, right?
One day. I tell everybody, if you want to do wheelies on your Harley, you come down to Dallas, come to the parking lot, and one day we'll knock off one thing off the bucket list. That's, I've been doing it a long time, so you kind of know how to coach people to do it the right way. But yeah, that's important. It is learning. You can learn it the right way or learn it,
it's the hard way.
Different progress. If you don't have anybody around to help you learn, then it takes a lot longer. So,
well, it's like what he was telling me is that you explained to him things that he is going to experience as the bike comes up.
Yeah.
So, and I think when Brad was explaining this to me, I was like, oh shit, like I know what you're talking about. And that would freak me out if I felt it and didn't know what that was. Like when the RPMs drop, you know what I mean?
When it's going, wah, and then all of a sudden it starts slowing down. You're like, what the fuck?
Like, where am I at?
Am
I at Narnia?
You're going to get up to a certain point, and then at one point, it feels like the bike is going to start falling down on top of you. I was like, and that's the part that you have to be comfortable at. And either you're going to touch the brake there, and it's going to slow the bike down, or you're not, and it's going to flip over, and you're going to eat shit. And
here we are.
And then
Bob's your uncle.
Then we find out if you're going to be a stunt rider or not. That's the people's first good wreck. You can always tell if if they're going to keep doing it or not. Because
Yeah.
after they throw their, because everybody, a lot of guys, they'll come out there and they're, I'm going to learn how to stunt my Harley, and they, they got a $10,000 Harley or whatever, and they go out there and they throw that bitch one time because it starts to fall back and they don't touch the brake and they take their feet off the pegs, and so then it goes over, and then they go put $2 or $3 grand into their bike, and they don't usually come to the parking lot no more. But then you have some guys like little Tony. He came out the first time he came to. I met them all. The guys, Rocks is actually who introduced me to these guys. He was like, "Hey man, they're doing you got a Dyna now. They're doing a lot day, a bunch of guys on Dynas." And I was like, "What? Like, I've been stunt riding here forever. What do you mean these guys are doing Harley stunting on parking lot days?" I was like, "How do I not know about this?"
Yeah.
And so I went out there and I seen the guys and I was like, "Oh, they suck. Like that's why I don't know about this." And no, I'm just talking shit. But whatever. They just didn't know. They were new, and nobody was out there really helping them. I love Rocks to death, but he was just telling. He was like, "Dude, y'all just gotta learn." And I'm like, "Bro, you can't let them do it like that. Like, you gotta give them a little bit better." He's like, "If they wreck, that's part of it, bro." And I'm like, "No, like you
can help avoid it." What I mean?
Yeah, like you gotta try to help them avoid it. And so me and him would be DM each other back and forth, and he, and then eventually he's like, "You're probably right about about the way that you had them going about it." But it's kind of cool. We've the dudes have came a long way. Tony came out the first time and tucked the whole front. Within 10 minutes of being out there, he got squirrely and it came backwards, and he saved it, but it ran and hit a pole and tucked the whole forks. His wheel was touching.
It would have been better if he just looped it.
Yeah, and so it was so we went out there and we rode to the parking lot because it's right by my house. And within 10 minutes of being out there the first time, I was like, well, this lot's kind of small, so it's going to force you to be a more technical rider. And I take him out there, and 10 minutes into it, he hits the fucking pole. Tacos his shit. He can't ride at home. and so then they posted in the group, and Tony posted a picture, of his bike, and his shit's touching the frame. And Rox is like, "Of course your shit's tucked in. Like, why would you bring him out there? That lot's tiny." I was like, "Well, he's got to learn in a smaller space, so he'll figure it out." And so then me and Rox, we'd mess each other back and forth talking shit about like how he's helping him or how I'm helping him. So it's kind of like Tony wrecked that time, and I was like, well, I still am going to ride. Like, I'm not going home because you wrecked your shit.
Watch me.
Yeah. And then, so he was sitting out there watching, and by the time we were done, he's like, "Dude, I already found a fork tube on eBay and a lower, and I've already bought it, and it's already on the way to the house. It'll be here on Friday. I'll probably be back on Sunday." And I was like,
nice.
Yep, he's definitely going to be a stunt rider for sure. Like, that's how you can tell, and Cracker was doing seat standers, and I'm telling Rocks, and I'm like, "Bro, you can't have him doing seat standers in the street if you don't know how to control the balance point yet, bro." It's like, he's going to loop it. You don't have no brakes. Like, come on. And he's like, "Oh, he's good, bro. He's been doing it. It's good. He rides it all the way across the lot." I was like, "But that one time when he barely goes too far, it's toast." Anyway, so that happened. But same thing. Cracker was right back on the bike and doing it again. So it's like, okay, well, at that point, like if you're willing to shit out your money and wreck your baby and then build it back together, that's you.
I mean,
you'll learn it.
Even Cracker's wife, she's on the fucking back, and Cracker's like,
she's got a beer in her hand.
She's got she's dragging the fucking hand, dude. Corny's just fucking
They're a
bad.
beast. Yeah, when they first started, they would be, I think they didn't just. If you just don't do it, you might not understand the way that your weight in the back shifts it.
Yeah.
And so I'd always tell them, like, "Girl, y'all need to please be more careful." And man, they're killing it now. They do so good. I love that shit. It's like, even on bike night, they'll roll up on the other bike, and whenever we go for a little, last week we went for a cruise, we went for a little lap, and it was like, it was me. I think I was the only one. All right. Last week. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was. But so that kind of sucks whenever you're the only one, because then you're the Lone Ranger out there. If there's multiple bikes in one air.
Points at you. Those him opposite.
Yeah, if there's multiple bikes in the air, it's a little bit easier to, like, you could set it down and feel kind of safe at nighttime. But when you're the only one and you got gold wheels and shit, it's kind of like, it's that big bright
That
dildo.
guy.
Yeah. But yeah,
The cops seem like they've been pretty cool with you guys doing what you do over there, though.
they've been so cool. We really haven't seen them, to be honest. We kind of at first when we started going on the routes, I think that kind of made it kind of, at least everybody would post the videos on their stories and stuff,
Yeah.
And so then people that are friends with the people that ride, they have bikes. They're friends that have bikes. I feel like it kind of got a some more people, more of the younger crowd, I guess, kind of coming maybe a little bit. But
Yeah.
it's kind of a, I don't know. At first we would go and we just had just a whatever. We would just ride wherever, we didn't really have a route. And we would just go through, through some bad parts, and the cops would kind of
that's what's been going on lately at the bike nights. We'll show up, and then, an hour or two later, after hanging out for a little while, they'll go out and do their route and come back, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then we come back, and just a chance, because a lot of people at bike night, like, they want to ride their fucking bike, you know what I mean? Like, because they're used to the high five days, some of the guys, or they're used to, like, just, whatever. And so they go ride to bike night. But for me personally, bike night seems weird if we just ride our bikes to bike night and just drink beers. Like, for me personally, that just isn't like the bike nights that I'm used to. I'm used to, we go meet up, hang out, drink a beer or two, whatever, and then go ride, and then.
Yeah.
So that for me is what bike night is.
I still understand that point. Like I said, because that was the bike night that I grew up with Sonic and stuff and High Five. It's like the bike night was just stop one. It was the meeting spot for the rest of the night. But you roll the clocks back now. That was in my 20s.
No, you're right.
When we could stay up till 4 in the morning every fucking night.
Exactly.
And wait for the bars and the fucking clubs to close so we can give these sloozies a ride around the block and get their number. Right? You did it. I know you did. Probably still do it, motherfucker.
Hey, you don't catch me out at 2 o'clock in the morning. Never.
But, and no, there is a place for that. I think it is one of those deals.
But I do understand what you're saying, though. Like,
it's just like, as a caveat here, like, if you could look at it two ways, I always looked at bike nights should be like a melting pot of ideas of what you guys should do outside of the bike night world, right? We should go to bike night, just vent, like, oh man, I had a rough week, man. I'm glad to be here. Good to see you, Paul, Zach. Yeah. Man, I had a rough week.
Talk bikes and
bullshit. I feel stressed. I feel just relaxed right now. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have a beer and you're like, man, dude, I love being here with you guys, man. Let's do something. Let's go somewhere. You want to fucking ride somewhere?
You want to make out?
That's kind of in the works too, because one of the ideas that
put your pants down.
Y'all want to make out?
One of the ideas that I came up with was doing like a mob and ride kind of thing. I mean, we meet up, like, maybe not every night, or maybe like once a month or something, but we all meet at the Crow on a Thursday, hang out for like a week, for an hour or whatever, and then mob out somewhere else. Do a group ride somewhere else. You know what I mean? Do another bar or whatever. Just hang out there and just go from there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool to do, I think. Aside from the stunting and all that, just like a group thing. Whoever wants to go, let's go.
I don't ever know if it's a good thing, though, the route, hitting a lap type thing. I think it is for some people, but I think it kind of kills the vibe of the bike night a little bit too. I kind of feel guilty about that sometimes, because we show up and we're there for like an hour or two, and it kind of gets going pretty good. Everybody, like, you get a good big group there, you know what I mean? And then it's like half the group fucking goes and takes off for an hour, or however long we end up playing around.
And then everybody else thinks, okay, bike night's over.
Bike night's over, and then they end up leaving sometimes before we get back. And then some of the guys that went on the route, they don't make it back. They take off halfway through.
Close. I'm about 35 now.
Yeah, or whatever. And they split off just because it's easier or whatever. And so I don't know if it's a good or a positive, but it makes it more fun for me, so I do it.
what I was getting at, though, is that, like, I feel like, and this is just my random thoughts, but, like, as dudes, you need to have goals, right? Goals to do things. Like, we're a group of dudes that hang out. What are we doing? What's our goal here? Is it just to continue to do the weekly thing? Is it to work on stunt riding, be better at that? Like I said, you have a kind of a goal within that kind of realm. But, when you start to kind of create plans with each other to do bigger things than just the normal, I think that's where you kind of transcend. The bike night becomes definitely a core thing for you, but you kind of transcend the bike night into another world of, like, we've done so much. We've traveled the country, or we've gone to do events, or we've, as a small group, decided to do this weekend thing. It doesn't have to be fucking across the world, but just anything. Like you said, it could be those. We went to the Fab Yard, the little taco ride, and went to the Fab Yard out here, and just kind of, that was a good thing, I think, because it is, once we started doing the stunt riding thing, because some of it was some of the, I guess, I don't know, but some of the more core member guys of the group, Cracker and Tony, and then they've been around for a little while at least longer than I have for sure.
but it kind of it kind of makes it it's not like it's a stunt riding thing, because like we were saying, there's 5 or 6 of us that are even interested in stunt riding, but there's like 20 or 30 people that show up.
There's a lot of people that are interested in stunt riding and they come because of that, of what you guys do.
I think
they might not be doing stunt riding themselves yet.
Yeah, no, I think there's some of the younger guys, especially now. There's some younger guys I think that are more interested like that. Every time I pull up, I feel like if you can do it, you have to kind of. So when I pull up at bike night, I always do a couple rolling burnouts. And last time I got the bike, some of the guys are just like, dude, that was all, and they just they're really, I've seen it on TV, but like you said, like they're really pumped on it, and like that's cool. Like, and then we tell them, like, we're gonna go right for a little lab. Y'all should definitely come out, and they've been coming back for a little while now. That little group of younger guys, they're cool.
You got Lauren now. That's
yeah, my buddy Lauren. I told you we talked about it the last time I was on here. He had that R6, and I was like, he just wanted another sport bike, and I was like, bro, get a Dyna. And he was like, no, I think I'm gonna get a 1000. I was like, bro, like you're not gonna have no way to ride with. You're 35, get a Harley, bro. Like, it is what it is. You get it, you're gonna be stuck hanging out with little 20-year-old broke kids that can't afford to go get a burger or something. Like, that's a good point. And so he got one. It is, that, and that's just even me myself, the stunt community. I feel like the major difference between like the sport bike guys and the Harley guys is just generally the crowd's a little older. You know what I mean? And so people are a little more further along usually in their life.
Yeah.
If you can afford a $10,000 Harley, no matter what, you're doing better than most 23-year-old people. You can afford your gas when you go out to bike night. Whereas in the sport bike crowd, it's more 18 to 25, 27-ish. I'm 35, but
you're
the crowd's
close to 27.
Yeah, the crowd's
old motherfucker.
Yeah, the crowd's younger, and so just like we were when you're 25, like you're struggling to pay your rent, and you're lucky to even have a motorcycle that don't even have insurance. So it's just a little different. But the Harley scenes, people just are a little more further ahead in life, I guess, a little later. So it's a little easier, I think, for people.
Yeah, and the one thing is about Harleys is they're modular, so you can try the stunt thing, and you could have a great experience that makes you want to continue to pursue it, or you can realize I don't know if I have the coordination or whatever, and you could decide to pursue another type of motorcycle life within it, whether it's traveling or just bar hopping or something.
It's such a big tent, I guess, that there's all kinds of little circuses going on or whatever underneath it type shit. But I think that's right. Like the cross country riding, it's like what y'all do. That when I did that was, dude, that's like a whole.
So even though experience. Like to maybe talk shit about cross country riding, it dulls the senses of local riding.
I could see that for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
when I rode to Sturgis, it made it a lot harder to ride to the lake in Whitney. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. Before that, it was nice to go hit the country roads, 2 lanes. It's super nice. Got pretty views. There's no traffic. But then it's like when you hit Beartooth Pass, it's like that's so much cooler.
It's
or even the Talamina or whatever. Like even that, it's beautiful and it's a good experience.
Like I'm down for the bike night, but the bike night is usually, which I'm sure it's the same thing for you guys. Like everybody kind of comes on their own accord. It's not like we meet up at this one place on the other side of town and we mob to bike night.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, we'll all converge when we get off work and get situated at home. Mm-hmm. We'll see you at bike night. And I remember growing up, we had a meetup to go to Sonic. Yeah. And then what's crazy as shit is the guys I rode to Sonic with were not the guys I left Sonic with ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had we're going to haul ass here, and then I had we're going to go pick up chicks at the bars group. And it would switch out. And now with the bike nights that we have going on, and I mean, realistically, like what you guys do and what we do with the T-Bar Tuesday is the same thing. Like we're a weekly thing. Like every
week, a bunch of dudes getting together, hanging out, bullshitting, and chicks too, not just dudes. There's lots of chicks. Y'all got a good Y'all have a bigger group of ladies that attend y'all's
Really?
bike nights.
Because I don't see them.
Well, I'm saying like the wives, the girlfriends.
Oh, yeah, those don't count.
But yeah, I'm not saying young, hot, single,
that's what I'm talking about.
thirsty twerking ladies. Like, yeah, we don't have
Y'all
that
got
either.
that.
No, we don't.
Come on.
Well, we have the little.
That's why we like, oh, man, they're doing it big over there. Like, they got thirsty, hot ladies over there.
We got there's like a little bar across the street, Texas Republic, and it's like one of them little EDM.
Yeah, TX, yeah.
So it's like all the little TCU kids, but they're like little 18-year-old kid girls walking to the bar, so it's like.
And you're showing out in front of them.
No, the cops are hot right there, it's because that's where it is. It's the bar area. So yeah, you can kind of act a little bit of an ass pulling in.
When we had to switch our spot from Anvil to Reno's, and Reno's is everything's better across the board. There's more parking. We have a great bartender that helps us out. But all the chicks that go to fucking Reno's are like heavy metal chicks.
They'll get in the pit.
Yeah. Which some of them are like, oh, okay, shit, okay. But some of them you're like, what the fuck? Like,
maybe it's methamphetamine.
Maybe it's methamphetamine, yeah, exactly. So it's
maybe it's Maybelline commercials.
And I mean, it's just no matter what, Deep Ellum for us on the Dallas side is definitely a toss a coin there. The way it lands is the way it's going to be that night.
Yeah,
it's either going to be super ghetto or super fucking cracked out. It is what it is.
Well,
I haven't been to that one.
Down at Deep Ellum with those with the Anvil bike nights. There was some fucking funny shit down there.
I mean, Anvil.
I did like Anvil.
We liked Anvil. I think so. This is maybe where it got tribal for us in the sense because the ones of us that were at Anvil pretty heavy, we fell in love with sitting at a table just like this and doing this every week and talking. Right. Yeah. It's not like what you would consider like nationwide what you want a bike night to be, but for the core group of us that are in Dallas. It became gospel for us. Thanks. Go ahead and leave. I'm being serious right now. But it's all good. But no, it became one of those things that, like, for us, it got, I hate to use the word intimate, but it really became that because the guys that are on that fucking wall behind you that I've traveled the country with are guys I met at the bike night that DFW Dyna Crew started.
No, understood.
You know what I'm saying?
I had no issues with Anvil. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I loved Anvil. I mean, I loved the location. I loved the way they took care of us, the food, everything. I mean, Anvil was a great spot.
I do understand the logistics because now that with you guys having it at the Dirty Crow, it's from here to there. I want to say it's at 45 miles one way.
Yeah, and that was the thing too, right? Like I started getting messages, and Kyle started getting messages. Hey, why don't you guys do something in the West End because it would be better for us and for me or whatever, right? And so that's where it was just it's like, okay, well, where do we do it now? You know what I mean? It's like we got the East End, the downtown Dallas thing covered off. How do we get something in the West End, right? So, but you guys had the Anvil thing locked down. It was a good spot, and we at the time didn't have the Crow. We were bouncing around. We were basically.
What was the other spot you were at before that? It was another one.
Oh shit, we did. Well, we had it at Chopper Supply for a little bit.
Yeah, I remember that.
We did that. We did Aussie Rabbit.
That's I think the one I'm thinking about. Yeah.
I mean, shit, Aussie Rabbit, an okay spot, but to me, like. So the problem with Aussie was you parked all your bikes out front, and it's off Lancaster, which is like a totally shitty area in of itself. And you leave your bike and your helmet and everything out front, and then they expect you to hang out in the back end of the bar, like out in their little patio section. Well, guys were uncomfortable with that because you can't see your fucking bike, and the next thing you know, your fucking helmet's stolen or something happens, right? So...
The Crow's good to us, man. They are. They're pretty good to us.
And you know what? That's the awesome thing about finding bars like the Crow. Yeah. And even for us at Reno's right now is that, like, look, we're coming here to spend money. We are a fucking if this is a voting pool for drinking beer, we are a fucking high commodity. Yeah.
And we're the majority.
And we're
and you're in your establishment on a Tuesday night, y'all are the majority.
Well, and that's the reason why I always pick Tuesday nights because a long time ago, and I say a long time ago, 12 years ago now, I started a bike night at Pluckers in the Highlands, right? And it was once a month, so it was kind of like that same concept. When you do a once a month bike night, you can see those 500, 600 numbers people. And I started this bike night. I sat down with the marketing lady for Pluckers in 2011, started a bike night that was every first Tuesday of the month. And all of a sudden, what they would do is they would buy out the parking lot. So, have you ever been to the Pluckers in Arlington?
Yep.
They're on a corner, and the business beside them it's changed hands a couple times. It was Black Eyed Peas, or is that the Black Eyed Pea, right? Not peas. Yeah. It's not the fucking the band. It's been a lot of different restaurants. So what they would do is they'd buy the whole parking lot out, and there would literally be 500-600 bikes because the chick that ran the marketing would have someone out there staffing. And the way we set it up was, all right, I want everybody to be able to sit at their bike and have a beer in this whole parking lot. So they had to pull permits to get it because Highlands is a very busy area. And it pulled off, and there was fucking massive bikes. And then the rest of the Highlands got pissed. Yeah. They didn't want all those bikes there because what would happen is when they got to the parking lot, they were good. But when that thing got overfull and went into the other parking lots, there became another bike night over here at the other restaurant's place. Yeah. And it got out of hands, and they just fucking shut it down. And what happened to the marketing lady that I had created a relationship ended up going to another business, which then made it hard to kind of facilitate that same relationship into the new person. Yeah. Right. And it's not that they made money off the bike night. I mean, yeah, they made money, but not like.
It just sucks. It sucks that you have to like meet somebody. There has to be like that cool motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's like, y'all are cool. Like it's, there has to be that one guy. Like if there's always those squares and shit, then like you're just not going to be able to make really cool shit happen. Same thing with like the bike night we're doing kind of is like out of all the local Harleys, like there's only one of them right here right now that's willing to let us do wheelies and like what we do kind of, you know what I mean? And so, and it's working out good for them, I guess, because they asked us to come back and do it again. This will be the second one. So I think it must have been okay for them. I think
you talking about with Texas Harley?
Texas Harley, yeah. I think somebody said it was the biggest turnout they had for a bike night was for the first one.
About that. I don't think
when you get back, we're going to talk about the current state of the Harley Davidson dealerships around town.
Yeah.
But to kind of, while he's going to piss real quick, while we were talking about like the bike night stuff, is that the tradition, when you walk, like you got to think Waco, right? You remember that? Twin Peaks, Banditos.
Hells Angels?
No, not Hells Angels. I think it was Cossacks.
Oh, yeah.
Club. It was club shit, right? I'm pretty sure none of it was their fault.
Right.
I think that basically some SWAT team shit happened. They started shooting at a group of people that didn't know who was shooting at them, and they just shot back like normal Texans would do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that turned into a big debacle, and it made it to where when you say bike night to certain restaurants and brands, they automatically think about the backlash of like the club world or, like just in general, like, when I think about our kind of newer, younger society of Harley Davidson riders or performance bike V-twin riders, I think of dudes that look like dudes that would skateboard.
That's what it is. It's the old skateboard. We call them fruit booters. What rollerbladers? I have to. I'm a skater, So, but like, it's like I don't know what you would call that.
It's
the alternative 90s skateboard. Like that's kind of seems like the crowd that.
So when you come up to a restaurant or a bar, you're trying to like explain to like, look, we want to do a bike night here, but when I say we want to do a bike night, we're not that there's anything wrong with that crowd. I'm not saying that, but generally, like we're not the kind of guys that maybe would put off your normal business because we look a little too unapproachable. Does that make sense?
Yeah, probably just the loud. We might be a little loud.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to definitely hit on the women that show up here. Not me. I'm married. But you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. It's kind of hard to pitch a bike night when, the world is full of all the shit that takes place between the club world and motorcycles. And then you add into like, well, we're just like normal job having Not that they don't have a job.
Yeah, I was saying them too. I know it's hard to explain. People think negatively, not because of motorcycle people.
If you're a guy that works in, let's just say, you're an IT guy, right? You don't normally, you can't wear black fucking Dyna, SS Bolt t-shirts to work, right?
Probably not.
So, but you dig the fucking culture and scene, like I want to be the bike night, or I want our scene to be the scene that makes that guy feel welcome to come be a part of it, because and this is the fucking greatest thing about being a guy that travels on a bike and looking the way that, or dressing the way we dress, like we're not booted out and leathered out. And then we go to places like Strokers, and you get these fucking old snarky motherfuckers that like, you don't even fucking ride that bike. I'm like, bitch, please. Like, I just want to go, hey, scan my QR code, faggot. You know what I'm saying? Check out all the shit I've done this year. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't benefit me at all, but that's one of the things that's like strange about being a newer age biker, if you will, that actually puts down miles, actually does do whatever you can to make the fucking industry better, the same way that you guys do with what you guys do. We're all just trying to make this fucking fun for our generation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's different than theirs, and we just want to do it the way we want to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
The problem, though, is that here's how I don't know what the fucking problem is. Let's be real, but
You do, just say it.
what I feel like the problem is
Democrats.
that these damn liberals. No, no, I feel like the problem
Thanks,
is that
Brandon.
maybe, Brad, where are you at too? Yeah, well, let's go, Brandon. Yeah, no, I feel like the problem might be essentially that Harley Davidson is a corporation, and because of that, I think that they kind of do it all. You know what I mean? Like their tent is, they kind of got all of the fucking deal. They sell wallets and keychains and hats and purses. And so that doesn't really leave any avenues for them to allow other small companies that maybe they do a certain thing for the motorcycle industry. But Harley can't have, let's say, for instance, like if we wanted to have Lexan come there, like let's say, for instance, to the deal, they couldn't have Lexan there selling. Maybe they could Lexans. I don't know.
Oh, this is go ahead. I can't wait to fucking plug.
House of Harley.
I cannot wait to plug this.
Yeah, we're gonna get some plugs in. But say, for instance, like, a lot of times, like, or if we wanted to have like My Machinist come out, and like they would have a hard time as the corporation allowing you to have them set up tents or something, because he sells things that they also sell, and so it would be cutting into their business.
The truth behind this is that the corporation doesn't give a shit. The individual dealerships, whether or not they are confident enough in their ability to sell and work with their local environment, is the difference between them working with brands or not. An honest dealership will understand that they are not going to get every business in their door, that some people are just going to prefer to go to a third-party service provider.
Right.
You know what I mean? But those third-party services, like those third-party shops, like Hang 'em High, does not necessarily sell new bikes.
Right.
If a dealership was to pair up and work with a guy like Hang 'em High, then he will be able to help them facilitate more opportunities to their dealership for the things that he can't physically do. The dealership doesn't have to promote Justin, but they just have to work with Justin.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
And dealerships don't want to, they start thinking like their dog's just ripping at scraps all the time, instead of thinking like we can all eat off this plate and we can all work well.
Everything works better. I feel like community over competition. Kind of that's how I feel at least.
100%.
Just like the stunt riding community for me. Like for some guys in the stunt riding community, like they take it serious. Like they're going to these competitions and the bell brawls, like they're trying to win, and like they're like serious about that shit. They're only getting fights over it. Like they're serious about winning and like that competition. Yeah. Whereas not everybody has a good time, but I've just heard of some instances happen like that. And whereas I don't know, I think for us, we just want everybody to do it. To me, if there's 100 dudes out there at the Harley Davidson dealership doing wheelies, like that's awesome. I
I always thought that a dealership was only allowed to sell a small percentage of third-party product.
I don't know.
That was what I think I was told at one point, that they can only sell A very small, and the rest has to be basically Harley brand.
But what it does, though, for me, I think for me, what it does kind of is like on this bike night, if just like we went to a bike night this last week, and if you have a bike night that's designed around a certain crowd of people, like that's what this bike night is, I feel like you should have the businesses that are pertinent to that.
So, for example, if you have this is the stereo sound off competition bike night, then you would obviously not go, hey, Zach, can you come do wheelies here?
Yeah. Can you and your loud ass guys doing all that shit, banging a limiter, can y'all not? Yes.
So if you're going to have a performance Harley Davidson bike night, then the focus of the bike night needs to be the performance Harley Davidson guys, because
the companies that are actually contributing to making performance Harley Davidsons. Yeah, we get that y'all also sell Screaming Eagle fucking air filters, but like we don't give a fuck. Like the age underneath 40 years old we don't give a shit about no Screaming Eagle. Not like, generally speaking, the people don't care. Like we want to run.
The thing is that like no matter what, who you are, if you ride a Harley Davidson, you're gonna fucking end up in a dealership at some point.
You have to. It's impossible.
It's impossible not to. So you're gonna end up there. So when you if you live in a city like Dallas where there's like 9 dealerships, be the dealership where maybe you're not selling the bikes, maybe because they're buying used Dynas or something like that. But at least you can be the dealership they're gonna go to when they need an oil filter or a fucking specific part that has to be bought through dealerships,
right?
Or when they decide to fucking get a new bike.
So since they, I don't know if I haven't really experienced one that has in stock parts for like the shit that the new generation of Harley the buyers want. We go to other places. You got to go to other places to get the parts, which like for me,
that's a tough thing for a dealership because most dealerships are going to stock the wear and tear items that usually it's the last 10 years of models are going to need the most, right? And fortunately about Harleys, a lot of that stuff is interchangeable. You know what I mean? Like compensators, or not compensators, but like rectifiers, belts, gaskets, things like that. But where dealerships can kind of become a part of their community is that they have to be willing to help exploit in a good way the communities around Harley Davidsons that maybe they don't understand. I don't fully understand this new community of this, but let's go ahead and give them a platform. Let's give them the opportunity to
They're at least buying motorcycles, buying parts, spending. I mean, these people, the younger community of Harley riders, they're spending money on fucking. Yeah. I mean, look at everybody's bikes at bike nights. Like people got money in their damn bikes. And like for me personally, I went to Tony's shop. I didn't even know. I was coming back from ROC and I put diesel. I was like almost empty and I just put diesel near me. And then I seen one that had a Wendy's right by. And so I just exited right there. And when I was going across the bridge, I looked to my left. I'm like, dude, I seen Rebels doing Cycle Supply. I'm like, I'm like, what the fuck? I think that's Tony's spot. So I pulled in there and got some diesel, went to Wendy's and, I went over there. I was like, I'm going to swing by and say what's up. It's Sunday, but they had the bay doors open. So I went in there and, my shocks have been leaking oil from
Legends.
Yeah, for a little while.
Is yours Legends of yours?
Yeah, I had the
That's cool. I mean, I think maybe we need to just.
I had the Revo A's and just from.
I know a guy.
Yeah, no. Girl. Well, here's what basically happened. I think at some point I had those shock sliders on my deal, and on one side when it touches the ground, it's going to be backing off of the screw, and so I think I lost a spacer, which means they weren't spaced correctly. So now it's sitting at an angle, which caused it to leak some fluid out of it, which I just needed to get them rebuilt. No big deal. But I went into that place, and this is like another example like Harley. I went into Rebel's Den, and dude, he's got
everything.
Bro, he's the man. Mm-hmm. Tony's got that shit going on. Like when I went in there, I was like, dude, I've never been.
It's like walking to Toys R Us.
Bro, I've never been in a motorcycle shop ever where I like walk in and I instantly wish I had $5,000 cash on me right now so I can buy all this shit I want for my bike.
But think about it, most of that shit. So you said like most dealerships can't sell more than 30%.
I think that's what I remember hearing at one point.
I'm good with going with that narrative because I'm pretty sure it's within the realm of that, right?
Well, because I mean, from a business perspective, if you think about it, if you have a company that's going to come in and sell product on your property at your event and you're in direct competition, right? Like say you have some tuner company that shows up that wants to sell tuners in a Harley Davidson at a Harley Davidson event. Meanwhile, you sell Screaming Eagle tuners.
Yeah, well,
right. I mean, that's direct competition.
That in my world, I look at it like this: Thundermax, which Millhouse and Jake and those guys at Thundermax, the team up there, are solid dudes who have a following. Do you want more people in your dealership? Then you invite people that have a following to your dealership.
Yeah.
That's the reason, like the party in Milwaukee for Mama Tried, there are brands like Lexan, Screaming Speed and Fab, fucking, Outcast Culture, Mercenary Motorcycles, like a lot of different brands that are necessarily, some of them are clothing brands, some of them are actual direct competitions to Harley stuff. I think dealerships have more opportunity to be individualized than they think they do. I think the problem is that most dealerships are owned by car dealership owners. Mm-hmm. And so they run things in a way that's not passion-based, right?
Sure.
If you're a passion-based dealership, your owner's a rider himself. He's on premises. He understands the culture. He's going to want to shape his dealership around a real culture or be the staple for the community for this culture.
And to your point, I think if you were to go and just sell motorcycle product, I mean, as long as you're selling something that's probably marked up and you're making money.
But how hard is it to have a set of fucking, piggyback fucking legends on the fucking shelf? Or at least one pair back there to where if a motherfucker comes in, that's what happened to me. I stopped into Tony's. I was going in there to buy a fucking T-shirt. I wanted to buy a T-shirt to support the shop.
Tony, yeah.
And I went in there, and lo and behold, the motherfucker's got a set of gold 14-inch piggybacks with the heavy-duty springs on them. I'm like, do those fit 02 Dyna? He's like, actually, they do. I was like,
matter of fact,
are they heavy-duty springs? He's like, actually, they are. I was like, fuck, man. Let me go get some cash out of the deal. Went in there to buy a $25 T-shirt, and I left and, spent $1,000 or $1,500 fucking dollars in there or something. So, but I feel like, was it worth it for whatever he paid? Like, I mean, and then because I went in there and they had exactly what I wanted so when I needed an exhaust, what did I do? Next time on my way back through, swing by and see what he has in stock because he has it right now, and I'm that guy.
So what I would say is that there are dealerships across the country that are really trying to work with their local environment. And then there are dealerships across the country that have an ego that you can't even negotiate with, right?
Sure.
Realistically, the DFW Dyna Crew, the brand of that, even your Dynacologist brand, those type of things are beneficial to in a dealership if they work with you guys.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And the bike nights are happening, and I hope, I haven't been Texas Harley's biggest fan on this thing, but I still, a good friend of mine works there. A lot of good friends of mine work there.
Honestly, they're starting to recognize the market.
I think they're like they're giving it a shot because potentially maybe because the people that work there, we know a lot of the guys in the sales from the head of finances, Travis, guys with the service. They're a pretty cool group of guys that work there at that Harley. And Matt, that's the marketing guy there, that he's really been cool in allowing us to give us an opportunity to go up there and be able to even fucking do wheelies. Like most Harleys, they're not trying to hear it. You can maybe bust a burnout like I did the other night leaving, but
be a fucking biker.
I mean, dude. Like if you don't want to allow people to do wheelies here because it's some fucking outlaw shit. Well, fucking dude, put a Yamaha sticker on your shit.
Outlaw bikers to hang out there.
Yeah, it's just a burnout.
Liability. If some asshole goes and crashes or runs into a family or whatever the case may be, and then there's a lawsuit because you didn't have the proper insurance.
But that could happen with the kid that works at the dealership, fucking round in the corner. And
I understand the liability aspect, but the deal is that they need to try harder to figure out how to work with it.
I'm most positive that Harley Davidson, with all their teams of lawyers and shit, could come up with some sort of a consent form that you could sign before you wanted to do a show.
Yeah, but that's Harley Davidson. That's not the individual. Harley's franchise.
Right. So you're talking about the people that actually own the dealership in specific.
Harley, like if you decide you want to own a dealership, then you need like $1 billion. I think it's $2 million in assets.
Yeah. So anybody could do it. But right, I understand what you're saying, I guess, but I don't know. I just think that's
why I was saying like Harley from corporate rules per franchise is about like operating so much, but at the same time, like you got to think, and I could be wrong, but I'm gonna stretch out here and say, I don't think Harley has snitches going across the country figuring out how much your percentage of what you're selling is. I think people that own dealerships need to grow a set of balls, and they need to sell what fucking customers want.
Yeah, that's common
They
sense
want
to
their
me.
bikes. They don't want the parts that come from the factory. So you need to facilitate the two, or you're always going to compete with Hang 'em High Customs. You're always going to compete with another brand on the outside. And maybe you don't want to take the risk of competing directly by selling over 30% if we're going with that narrative of those parts. Well, then work with the motherfucker that can. Because there's things that Justin's not going to tackle that you're going to be able to tackle.
Right. And when they're not busy, or if he's swamped, he's going to be like, dude,
don't be so arrogant to think that you're the only person that can turn a wrench on a Harley as a dealership. You're the only place. We live in Dallas-Fort Worth. There's 9 dealerships within less than 50 miles of each other, right? Yeah. 9 dealerships. And then if you jump out, there's 5 more within 100 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you going to stand out? You need to fucking be a man.
I like that they're starting. I feel like I like that they're starting to try to kind of like just for instance, like the Maverick Harley did the performance bagger night with the FXRs and stuff. Like, 2 years ago that would never have been a thing. But here's my complaint with. Okay, so maybe we can do not complaints. We won't do complaints because complaints are negative. Maybe I'll say
so much funner though.
Yeah, I know. It's more real, right?
You know what really grinds my gears?
Well, in the photography community, we do constructive criticism. You ask for constructive criticism, so you do your take your little pictures and you ask for constructive criticism, which means basically, don't tell me I suck,
drip by drip, basically.
But let me know where I could improve.
Yeah,
I think, and for Harley, maybe they could improve if you had like just for instance, last week we went to one of the performance bagger nights. Like, it just sucks to have it be performance bagger nights and the star of
performance Harley nights.
Performance Harleys, yeah, excuse me. And for the star, the center of the stage, not to be around the performance Harleys, like for me. Like, if you're having a performance Harley night, like, I feel like you should maybe have some performance Harley brands, companies, or something.
If you have a microphone and you have the ability to promote things, and those people are also co-promoting your event by showing up and resharing on social media, which, let's be real, Harley dealerships fucking suck at. Like, is there one Harley dealership that has over 50,000 followers?
Definitely not.
No.
Because nobody cares.
I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say there is, but
probably San Diego Harley maybe or something. Maybe like that.
San Diego or Quaid or one of those guys.
But again though, that's a dealership that they sponsor multiple fucking riders. They they're giving bikes away for people to be riding, to be promoting their shop. Like, I mean, what are they doing for marketing though to be able to get to that point? And it's like, maybe for these individual owners, it ain't worth it to do that. I don't know, but I mean, how could it not be?
Yeah, it's one of those things that I feel like they could learn a lot. Like,
for me, if I go to Performance Harley meet at a fucking Harley Davidson, I want to see Performance Harley Davidson companies. I want to see the people there that are on performance bikes. I want the performance bikes to be the star of the show. I definitely don't want
a stereo competition.
A fucking stereo competition to be the star of the show. I don't want to have to like walk to the back parking lot to see the fucking what I came here for.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I think that maybe it just can't happen though, because it's
until one of the dealerships here in town
says I'm going to be the one that says I don't give a shit.
This is what I think is the bigger issue is we know that most dealerships in town have service departments full of guys like us. The service department is
the people that work there,
performance Harley Davidson
and the sales guys,
the sales guys, even some of the marketing guys, right?
And the heads of finances are starting to be those guys.
But somewhere on the chain of command is some fucking dude that don't get it, right? Mm-hmm. And let me just say this. I remember walking into Longhorn Harley Davidson in 2015 and telling them about this brand that's coming out that's really popular that y'all should work with called Dixon Flannel. And they laughed at me. They literally like, whatever, man. We don't need that shit. Now they have a fucking flock of Dixon Flannels.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like, why listen to me? Why listen to me, right? I don't fucking know. Like, why? Why would they? But then again, they could have, and they could have been ahead of the curve. Mm-hmm. Now, most of the dealerships here in town sell Dixon Flannels.
Yeah, they do.
They could have been the guys to get it from and, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The thing is that I feel like they have to understand that if you're trying to promote a scene, this goes to bike nights is the same way. If you're trying to promote a scene, you have to look at, like, what you're doing here is you're planting a garden. It's a fucking shitty analogy. It's a lame analogy, but this is the truth.
That's life, yeah.
I'm
Life's
planting
a garden, bro.
Garden. Dig it.
Come on.
If you plant a garden, what you're gonna get is a fruitful journey, not a fucking quick return.
Yeah.
Now, 4 years ago, these dealerships will probably laugh at me when I said performance Harley Davidson's was the thing that's going to come along. It's fucking crazy that I got to work with dealerships on the other side of the country when I'm fucking sitting here around 9 of them.
Yeah, there's 50-something Harleys in Texas or more.
Yeah.
And you got to go to Milwaukee to fucking try to get some performance shit from Harley Davidson and support support the scene.
I love these guys. But
just to get some support for your scene, you got to go halfway across America where there's that one cool motherfucker.
I have faith. I have faith in y'all's bike night. I think y'all's bike night could be that turn of events to help. Even though I haven't been Texas Harley's biggest fan, I think that what you guys are doing, you have a little bit more ownership of the bike night, I think, than some other ones. And the last bike night was fucking strong. Great fucking footage from it. Great wheelies. Great party. That's why I wanted to bring you guys on to promote that, because I thought it would be a great.
I think this one's going to be a lot better too. Obviously, it's always going to be a little bit better than the last time. The last time, it was a little more. We'll just see how it goes type thing, and now it's a little bit better planned. There's a bunch of companies doing some raffle prizes and stuff. Ended up getting a canopy, a Dyna Crew canopy, and a tablecloth coming. So trying to
the HDX guys are coming up as well.
Yeah, and the Houston Dyna Crew guys are going to come up. We got Josh Bailey and Ray Ripple. They're going to be coming from West Texas and staying at the weekend. I think
she's supposed to be doing a podcast here after the bike night.
Is she? Yeah, that's cool. We watched me and my brother actually today watched that.
I watched like 4 episodes of it, or no, 3 episodes
Metal
of it.
Masters, man. I'm fucking up the name of it. I don't remember what it's called, but
it's pretty fucking wild.
I watched it today. Man, them people are badass, dude. That's some impressive ass shit.
It's gonna be a good podcast. I'm excited to talk to her. I didn't know that he bought Steve Chamberlain's old skinny tire bagger. Okay. And that he was doing stunt riding. Like, I didn't know. It was like it's like one of those small world moments where she came into my profile and she came into my feed or whatever, and I started following her, and then Simpson had a connection with her.
Yeah.
So I was like talking to Scott, and I was like, "Hey man, who's this Ray Ripple chick?" He's like, "Oh, she's cool as shit, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Cool." I was like, reach out to her to do a podcast, and as I'm doing that, then I find out that is her husband or boyfriend? I don't know.
Boyfriend.
Boyfriend,
I believe. I might be wrong.
Same shit, right? They're together, and and then that was the dude that bought Steve Chamberlain's bike, and that he's a stunt rider, and then he was coming. They're coming to y'all's bike night to do, just to be a part of the fucking festivities.
Yeah, Josh can come do some wheelies with us. He actually is one of the people who reached out. Maybe we reached out to him. I don't remember how it happened. Maybe I did or he did, or I don't know. But same thing. I followed his chick at first just because I seen it on my Explore thing or whatever. I'm like, dude, this chick makes like metal sculptures. That's cool, welding and then I seen that her dude rode pit bikes at first is what I saw, and I was like, oh, badass, bro, you should come ride pit bikes with us sometime. And I'm like, oh, he's got a fucking Dyna and he fucking is doing wheelies. I was like, you got to come out here so I can teach you how to scrape it and slow it down and get it in control.
Hell yeah.
And he was like, dude, I'm pumped. He's like, I'm going to come out. He's like, yeah, I'm going to. And then, so he did come out. Actually, it was when they did the track day out at Crescent.
Yeah.
The guys did out there, and he he has a big ass trailer. So I got a good spot to park big ass trailers. And so they parked at the trailer at the house, and we went to the lot on Sunday, and in one day, and I don't remember how many pussies he ended up having to be, but he scraped it. He got it controlled, got it slowed down. He scraped it. He scraped it multiple times before he left. And and so he's been out there in West Texas dialing it in a little bit.
Sweetwater, right? Is it Sweetwater or?
Man, don't get Big Springs. It's Big Springs, yeah. That's where it's right before Midland, yeah. And so, he's going to end up coming back out here, and we're going to have a weekend. I think we're going to do Sunday, maybe do a Loco Coyote trip.
Yeah. I'm taking my bike. So I was planning on, this is my last week riding my bike. So I was planning on doing our bike night on Tuesday.
Seasonal rider.
I was going to do Thursday. I was going to do y'all's Thursday night bike night. I just didn't want to go to Texas Harley. I don't know. I've said a lot of things.
Shut up, bro. Oh, so you don't want to support our event because you said something bad about them?
I pick up my son that night. I don't fucking want to do it.
So bring the kid out. There's nothing better that you're going to do with your son on Friday than letting him watch some fucking motorcycle shit.
Bro, I just got a puzzle.
Bring out the camera and get us some fucking footage, bro.
I'll be there.
We need the shots.
There you go.
Sax will be there.
Sax on the video. Jace on the camera. Bullshit.
I don't know. So I'm taking my shit apart for
your camera.
No, the bike.
Okay, so you'll still be able to come out with the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll use your new A1. Play with that thing.
I have actually. I think I invited my friend Itza to come out there because I knew you weren't going to come. I was like, no, he don't know what to do. Yeah, so I asked my friend Itza. I was like, because I had down at the Houston Dyna Crew, I had my boy Roy Garcia, that does the Streets Love Us and puts together a bunch of the stuff for the big Houston riding scene down there. I paid him $100 to come out and shoot my gear and stuff, just to come out and click the button for me. And he got some badass shots and stuff that we're still using for content now. But Houston's a long way to have him come up. So I invited my friend Itza, and I guess like a photography group here in Dallas that I've been going to these little photography meetups and stuff. And so I invited them. So we'll have some good content.
Zach does weddings too.
No, I don't do
bar mitzvahs.
No weddings. None of that nonsense.
Quinceañeras.
We don't do none of that. No, but that's not something we're gonna be doing. No.
You plan on going to Houston again?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll definitely be going to Houston. That's like I say. If I'm not. I don't know what would. If as long as my bike's running, I'm going. And even if it's not, like last time, my bike was running. The time before that, it wasn't. So I just took my bagger either way, and we still went out and had a good time. I took pictures that time. But yeah, even if I can't ride, I'm gonna go take pictures and support the events because they're badass, and nobody else is really doing anything like that. And so I feel like if they're going through all the trouble to put all that shit together, I got to go at least show some support. You know what I mean? Especially the local guys, and they're cool, and it's a badass time. Like even when you can't ride, like it's still cool to go hang out and shoot the shit with everybody down there.
Yeah. And this time the weather will be a lot cooler.
Yes.
Feel good.
Houston's like the armpit, man. It's so hot and humid down there. The humidity kills me when I'm down there, man. But it is. It's a nice deal, and I'm excited for them to be coming up. Jake's going to be coming up. He said he's coming to ride. I hit up Tazinski, Corey from down there, and I think he's in Austin, I think is what it is. But he said he's got some family coming.
What's up with Austin?
It's weird, bro.
Where are they at?
Austin's kind of in the stunt. They're like, even in the sport bike community, there's like, what's his name?
Homeless?
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I don't really know. There's one, man, I'm going blank right now, but there's just one guy really on sport bikes, OG cat out there that's been riding forever in Austin, but he like rides by himself. Like, I don't know. They just really never, I don't know why people don't ride in Austin.
Yeah, it's so strange how, like, when I first got into this scene,
because they're liberals down there. They're still fucking living. They're still living in their mom. They're still living in their mom's basement. I don't know. I'm just talking shit.
It just seems like that there could be. I mean, I guess because it's so hard to commute down there because of traffic. Maybe Austin's not a huge city, but it's very hard to get around. You know, I
feel like there would be a better chance of there being like a Austin Livewire community. You know what I'm saying?
Austin Livewire crew.
Yeah.
I think that would be a big.
Well, because like most of the bike stuff.
I'm just kidding.
I love it. They most of their bike scene was always like very around the southern, so like the South Austin kind of vibe.
San Marcos and stuff down there.
Not so much San Marcos, but like just south of the whatever the river is.
Lady Bird Lake.
Yeah. So there's a lot of little dive bars like Yellow Jacket, and it's kind of more chopper than anything. But I mean, it's still the chopper scene has always kind of also been where the Dyna scene kind of hangs out as well. You know what I'm saying? Like Chopper Supply was one of the things for us here.
Are we gonna have like a real rally for like the young crowd at some point? Like, is somebody gonna do like
it's like not, this is the way it works. I've thought about this. I've thought about the fucking evolution and the.
It's got to change, dude, because
this is how it changes.
The boomers are dying off, bro. We gotta.
So it's the same thing like Sturgis, right? So everybody says like, I don't want to go to Sturgis. It's for old guys. Well, guess what? It's not for old guys. It's for every biker. And what happens is, as younger generations come along, they take the fucking torch, right? So in a sense, what we're doing now, if we show up to Sturgis and make Sturgis ours instead of letting Sturgis be theirs, right? I'm not saying we have to go fight them for it. I'm just saying,
no, of course, I understand what you're saying. Be a part of that.
You have to be a part of
the
it,
show,
and then the torch is passed, and now you get to be the guy that's like, or your scene gets to be the scene that is what is going to happen at Full Throttle and Buffalo Chip and all these places. But, you know, if you keep, it's kind of like you can keep your scene underground, and that's also cool to kind of make it more smaller and niche based. But performance motorcycles isn't underground. It's past that point now. You know?
Yeah.
So if you go to Sturgis, like, people need to go there. They need to go to Daytona. Daytona is kind of turning into ours. You know, like, I've talked mad shit about Daytona. This last year that I didn't go, I had FOMO like a motherfucker. Sit Down Steve, all the fucking performance bagger dudes out there, fucking Big Will Cody out there just tearing it up. Like, I wanted to be there because I know that's a small group of people at fucking Daytona, but I don't follow those fucking Instagram pages for the other fucking nerds out there.
Yeah. I agree.
My dudes look like they fucking had a good time there, and I want to be there for that shit.
I'm with that.
You know what I'm saying? It
sure.
ain't our scene, but why isn't it our scene?
Because there's not enough of us there
Exactly.
yet. That's why. Yeah, you gotta get more of us there. I think that's good. But yeah, but even like, not like Sturgis. I'm not saying there has to be something like Sturgis, but you know, there's like Rot Rally. Like, man, I was listen. I was so fucking pumped, and
Don't get me started on that new fucking shit down there.
Listen, dude. I went down. I bought the Road King. Right? I bought the Road King. Hear me out. Listen, I bought the Road King that Hoffman built like 2 days before Rot Rally. And I was pumped, bro. Hey, it's my first fucking bike rally. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Rot Rally. Like, I've always heard it's fucking badass. It's Austin. You know, and
yeah, what the fuck?
Dude, I was like.
So that was a while ago. That wasn't this last year, right?
That was the year before last, I think.
All right, so this last year.
I didn't go, but
some new guys bought Rot Rally, right? And I wish they were my friends, because I said, why the fuck would you buy something? If you have the money to buy something, you have the money to start something new.
I'm with that.
Right? Rot Rally has been tainted into something that's not really a rally. It is a event that you go and you set your fucking RV up, you pull your bike off, maybe, or your golf cart, more importantly, off. You set up a pool.
The fucking inflatable pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get your old big fake tittied old fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
That lady out there.
And then, you know, when the sun goes down, you turn the LEDs on your golf cart on and you put on fucking, you know.
Fucking Gangster's Paradise and bump through the fucking.
Yeah. And then you go do the nude mile and you fucking, you know, you get beads thrown at your old lady because she has her tits out. And then you drive around like, hell yeah.
Really?
You know
Like, yeah, y'all see my old lady's tits? Goddamn right she did.
The guys, I don't know who they are. And it's weird because not them directly, but somebody they were connected to reached out to me about like, hey, Rot Rally got bought out. They're trying to do some new things. I'm like, please let me talk to them. Because I would have said like, hey, all right, you already made the first mistake. You bought Rot Rally instead of just doing something new. Austin's too big of a city now to have a bike rally at it.
It's too crowded. The bars are too crowded. Too much
shit.
There's too much control from law enforcement.
Yeah.
Restrictions by law enforcement.
It's a bad idea. So they did it anyway, and they moved it to, instead of being at the fairgrounds, it used to be Travis County Fairgrounds. I think
yeah, now they moved it way the fuck out there, and you got to go.
They moved it to the racetrack of what's the track out there? The MotoGP one they built, Circuit of the Americas, COTA.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is why I said they shouldn't have fucking sold it. They should have started a new brand because they were trying to turn it into a newer type event like what we would be a part of, right? Did you get a phone call? DFW Dyna Crew is a big part of the Texas motorcycle bike scene. So you would think that they would involve guys like you and I and HTX Dyna Crew and all these other people, right? No. They call people from California to come down here and help them fucking promote an event in a city, in a state. They have no fucking idea what's going on.
Where they're not a part of the community.
They didn't realize that when they do that, the fucking people they're going to show up to Rot Rally, because the name Rot Rally is like, load up the fucking camper and get your pasties.
Your inflatable
get
pool.
My bag full of fucking beads. We're going to bike rally this week. Like, that's not going to... You can't, like, oh my God. People with money should not be given the fucking credit of smart. so many people come into money from fucking idiotic ways.
Sure.
And unfortunately, I'm sure the people that ran Rot Rally they probably worked their ass off to get that money. Fucking be smarter than this, man. Like, how is it that most people can see this fucking thing not working out or from around the corner? But
I just don't understand how they don't get the companies that. Do they just get whoever? I don't know, man. It seems like when you go to one of these rallies as a newer bike rider, enthusiast, whatever the fuck you want to call it, like, and then you go and you realize, and all I felt like was, this shit ain't for me.
Yeah.
This ain't my crowd. This ain't my people. This ain't my scene. This is
I think
just.
at some point, the people that are running it like a business, and they don't care who the fuck shows up as long as they show up with money.
As long as they pay for a booth to be there.
You guys looking to buy a bike night?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it gets to this point where it's like, man, like if you.
Yeah, if we let fucking Mark Cuban come buy out the DFW Dyna Crew bike night, like, that don't mean it's going to be a badass.
You have to get a fucking mask mandate and fucking get vaccine. You need a proof
you have to get that.
Bring your Vax card with you to bike night.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that because he's a billionaire, he's going to make it a better bike night, like, or that it's going to be inclusive to the community.
He doesn't understand what people want. And I think the biggest problem that people, you guys do it well, 100%. We've done well with the way we do our things. Houston, HTX Dyna Crew, they've done well with what they do. And we're all fucking different. And it all works out well. Everybody has a good time. What happens is people that want to come in here and monetize, we're not making money on any of the shit we're doing.
None of it.
Yeah, most people are
right?
losing.
We're doing this because it's passionate. Now, if we were going to say, like, hey, how do you turn money out of this profit? We would probably say, like, there's probably some angles we can go to make money out of it. But there's certain things I wouldn't cross that line to where it becomes.
I wouldn't cross that line.
You know?
I wouldn't do it.
To me, if it takes out the fun of it, or all of us just getting to be kind of do it on our own accord, then kind of it ain't really worth it.
Is when you bring in the financial aspect of it is, okay, who's that money benefiting now? Where's that going? Who's going to take care of that bank account?
Yeah.
Right? And who's going to monitor how it's being ran and where that money's being spent and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Then guys are going to be like, well, what the fuck? We're spending money here and not there. Well, bringing money into it will fuck.
So that's when you need to get a treasurer, fucking sergeant arms.
God damn it, Jace.
Oh, shit.
Don't take that route. Don't take us there, Jace. Come on, man. No, it is kind of cool, though. We have had a bunch of not a bunch. On some nights, we have had a bunch of club guys come out and to our bike nights, and I don't know if they come out to assert dominance, but then do they show you their dicks? No.
Okay.
But I assume maybe I really don't know. Maybe they come out because it's a bike night and it's going on, and they don't have nothing to do on Thursday night. I don't fucking know. But sometimes they come like 30 or 40 bikes deep, but they don't so much as hang out and kick it with the people that are doing the bike night and stuff. So it's kind of like, well, what are we here? Yeah, what are we doing?
They've all been
But some of them talk, and some of them intermingle. But then, I don't know if for me personally, never been in a club, so I don't really even know anything about it hardly. But
yeah,
it's a good. I think that probably maybe potentially some people would be like, they come to the bike night and they're like, man, like there's a bunch of cool dudes kind of hanging out and kicking it. And
it's definitely, man, it's a touchy subject, but it's definitely a pathway for certain people to the bike club world or the bike life, club life is going to be more appealing to certain types of men, 100%.
Right.
Whether that's military men or just men looking for a little bit more structure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or maybe an extended type family type thing or whatever.
Yeah. I've had lots of conversations with some other friends that I hold very dear that are very versed in the club world.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much the Texas club world, but the national club world, and it's a very relative topic that we talk about these days because, in a sense, clubs have less of an appeal to the general market of motorcycle riders than they did years ago, and I think that's thanks to the.
Do you think they have less of an? I think they probably have way more of an appeal right now.
I would agree.
Ever since Sons of Anarchy, I think that really.
I think you got a lot of dudes that wanted to dress that part, but they weren't really about that life.
I agree with that, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is about that life means that these guys, there are going to be those guys like, fuck it, I'm fucking down, patch me in, son. Can I be Chibs? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But realistically, what that means is you just adopted 20 years of whatever negative
And
life,
positive, yeah, or
whatever
whatever.
negative shit they had, right? You know, so, and I'm not trying to talk shit about it, 'cause I'm just saying that this is what I've talked about with other guys that have these conversations. Then you can't ride across the country. You can't freely move about the cabin. Isn't that like a fucking
Plain term,
a
yeah.
plain term?
I got it.
You're obligated to do a lot of things. I've never been one of those dudes that it's like, when I looked at the club world when I was part of it, I chose to be a part of it. So I never looked at it like, oh, I don't want to be told what to do. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
I
signed up for
chose
this.
to be
Yeah.
here. You know, it's just like military, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I would have been 30 whenever I joined like you did, I probably would have been able to been a lot more understanding of structure and power and guidance and dominance, if you
I mean,
will.
I'm not gonna lie. There's days where I wish we operated more like a club. I wish there was a little bit more commitment with certain events and things that we did. You know, because we had this discussion earlier, right? It's like we'll plan something, and then you know, when everybody's all about it, and then come the day of or a couple days out or whatever the case may be, and you see the interest wind down. You know, I kind of wish that sometimes.
What I think that is, though, I think that is that in any group of people, you have a core group of guys that are putting 400% effort into something that people that put 30% don't realize how important their percentage is, right?
Yeah, and like and even to the guys that are only putting forth 10% effort, if you got 3 or 4 guys putting forth 10% effort, like it's still 30 or 40% extra, you know, like, and it, like you're saying, it does make a big difference, even if it's just a little bit. Like, even if you're.
I look at it like this. I can't tell you how many times on a Tuesday I just didn't want to go to bike night. I'm trying to diet, not tonight.
Fucking right, dude.
Quit lying, I've been working. I've been struggling my weight, so don't
You've
fucking
been dieting.
don't fat shame me.
You've been
right
dieting
now.
since I've known you, bro.
It's a struggle, dude. That's what struggle means.
Yeah.
So there'll be nights I'm like, I don't want to go to bike night because I know I'm going to get with my friends. We're going to get in a conversation, and I'm going to need a beer.
Yeah.
I'm going to need something, right? Or I'm just busy or just whatever. I just don't feel like going out tonight. But I can always count on my hand how many bike nights I miss a year, and it's usually less than 5. And that's with my travel schedule, right? So the reason I make that effort is to try to make sure that all my friends that depend on me to be there, they know I'm going to be there, and I depend on them to be there.
Sure.
So whether it's a fucking 5 night or a 5 dude bike night or a 50 night or 50 dude bike night, I know that they don't have to, I'm the reliable one, right?
Yeah, they know you're going to be there. You're
Yeah.
one of the ones that they're like, oh, he'll be here for sure, so I'll go. If nothing else.
You know,
because sometimes if they're like, well, they don't know who's for sure going to be there, then they also might not be wanting to go.
yeah, so it's like, yeah, oh, well, who's going tonight? I think I'm going to skip tonight. It's
Yeah,
one of those people.
we have people, they'll message you, are you going to bike night tonight? Well, what does it fucking matter if I'm going or not? Do you want to go to bike night, bitch? If you do, then go. You fucking message me, asking if I'm
Sometimes
going.
I ask that question because sometimes I'll bring Whitney with me, and then it's like, okay, are you coming with your wife? Are you bringing your girlfriend or what have you, just so that she has somebody to talk to? But I mean, that's really the only reason I asked that question.
Well, I just feel if everybody tries to be reliable, and I say reliable, I know that we all have families and kids,
Lives, of course.
responsibilities on this stuff, but I respect a man that can run his household and still have one night a week that he gets to be a man.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to talk shit about anybody that can't, but if you can't, I mean, like, I depend on my friends. The reason I have that core group is because I depended on them and they depended on me. And every week I knew that I was fucking with one of those dudes. And so then the bigger trips that we had, the bigger experiences in life were because of commitment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't have to. They all have their own families, their own lives, their own shit, but they found a way to be, I hate the word adult enough, but they were far along enough in their careers and life to where they can make that commitment to be there every Tuesday.
Yeah,
right.
I think it's important, especially in a relationship, though, that your significant other, is supportive of your, whatever you want to call it, your life, your hobby, your passion, whatever. Because if you don't have that, then you're fucked.
For sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you got a girlfriend or a wife that's just like, fuck motorcycles, I don't give a fuck about what you do.
Yeah, but at that point, why would you want to be with someone that doesn't?
I mean, you're right.
Yeah, if they don't
Absolutely
support your
but
hobbies and all
there's
that.
some people
then-
that are like that. Or what if you're already married and you just get into that?
Well, what if your aunt had nuts? I mean, then she'd be your uncle, but we don't. Damn, we don't live our life on what is,
I
Paul.
know this is a touchy subject, but
But
you know,
it's true. I mean, if your significant other does not support what you're doing, especially where you're going to be going out every Tuesday or Thursday night, whatever the case may be, or the long distance trip or the weekend trip or what have you, if she's not supportive of that, then you're going to have a tough time, pal. I mean, it's just.
Are you going to support her cocaine and twerking addiction?
I mean, no, but
so this is a very relevant topic because it comes up so much. It came up in the circle that we were part of it.
It comes up for every guy, every group of any guys who has any kind of hobby that has.
I don't
also a
suggest
partner.
that anybody that wants to be a part of the bike life push to get rid of their relationship in the pursuit of this.
No,
right?
hell no, because
But
life's bigger than just.
the fundamental principle of you not being able to explore your ideas of finding some type of happiness within your adulthood is something that, like, if your significant other is the one that's keeping you from being able to do that, that's not healthy. That's not a good relationship.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
start to
You know,
resent it for sure.
so in a sense,
You're going to be caught in a crossroads. You're going to be like, okay, do I keep my wife happy or my girlfriend happy, or do I go to bike night, or do I go ride my motorcycle? I never want to be in that
Oh
position.
man, that's tough. How would you?
I feel like
How-
every relationship, this is the funniest thing, is like when you are this fucking biker dude, maybe, and I'm gonna give you the example, if you are a biker guy, right? You're this guy that rides bikes, you have friends, you have goals, you have plans, you have ideas, you have dreams, and you ride bikes, you go to bike night every fucking Thursday, you're hanging with the boys, you have a couple beers. He meets you, you meet her at fucking DFW Dyna Crew bike night. She was walking to fucking Zalat Pizza. He's like, hey, girl, what that ass do? You know what I mean? And she fell for it.
you
right?
dropped, you
Sure, I
dropped
mean-
something. It was her standards.
Listen, I was single for the last 2.5 years, and and fucking dating in your 30s is atrocious. But every girl I met, first thing was like, "Do you like bikes?" Yeah, I like it. Okay, cool. Do you not like? No, I'm not about it. Later. It's a part of my life.
Damn.
I think the bigger question is, do you like men with things to do?
Do you want your man to sit around and pet you all day long and tell you you're pretty at home, where he has no friends and he don't have a life, or do you want him?
There's a bigger issue here, and this is something that I get wrapped up in conversations quite a bit. I have a very unique and different life than most men can have because my world revolves around the hobby that most people, I guess Zach could probably say he's in the same boat. My income and my hobby are the same place, right? So for me, it's a very unique place where, like, my wife's not going to win that argument. Like, babe,
Right.
this is what paid for your plane ticket to come to Dallas.
Right.
Yeah.
It also, if it came to it, I love my wife to death, but it's also the plane ticket that's going to get you out
But
if
at
you
the
can't
same
work
time,
with
I've
it.
seen your wife on the back of your bike numerous times. Right.
I don't like it.
You got to ride
She know
careful.
this?
No, I mean,
But you know what I'm saying? Like she rides with you. I've seen her at
She supports your hobby and
She
she
deals
comes
with
to
it.
the events
she
and
comes out to. I mean, I've seen her plenty of times.
she deals with
Right?
you.
She's not one of
She
those
support-
wives that just she never comes out. You don't know who she is. You've heard of her, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
well, like I said, for me, it's a very unfair comparison to an average dude that has a career outside of motorcycles, who want to be a part of this thing. And I think that to the women out there that listen to this, every man that has a hobby wants his wife or chick to have a hobby. Mm-hmm. It's always the same thing, because
It's a must.
when both parties don't have a hobby, they become each other's hobby. That doesn't always mean that they're going to be happily ever after. That means that they're fucking dependent on each other for purpose.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want my wife to be my purpose. I know it sounds good in a fucking love story, like The Notebook or some shit, but this ain't real life. That ain't real life. Real life is, I want to be happy with who I am as a person, and I want to share my happiness that I earned on my own with some other entity that earned happiness on their own. Mm-hmm. Right? If I have to go home with all my hard work in life that I found relevance and purpose in life and happiness. I want to share this feeling with my wife, not go and let it be drained out by her negative, non-hardworking, no goals, no fucking derivative, like she thought her ass was going to take her somewhere and it did, and now she's with me kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. I think that, like, people need to find hobbies and support each other. I wish my wife had a hobby that was as ingrained into her DNA the way motorcycles are with mine. Because I would love to be able to support her as much as I feel like she's done for me, and things like that, you know?
See, I mean, I think the support part is you're hitting it right on the head there, right? I mean, they don't necessarily have to be a part of it. They don't necessarily have to be on the back of your bike every single night or whatever the case, but they have to at least respect and support it.
There's nothing like going to bike night and then coming home late and getting pussy. Straight up, like,
I mean, with
fucking wore out. She's like, give me that dick. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, I'll tell you right now with
it happened once.
My girlfriend,
awesome.
She's never really been on the back of a bike prior to me.
Yeah.
And I introduced her to it. She's loving life. She's come.
What's his name?
What's that?
No, I understand. So how has it been for that transition for her and everything?
Initially, it was rough. So the first time she came out with me, we took a road called 1187 into Burleson. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, we were only going about 50, 60 miles an hour, or 60 at best. And she's losing her shit. Like, she's clutching on. I mean, she's scared. We stopped off at a bar. She had a couple drinks. And we took the highway back, 35 to 20 and all that. And it was like a totally different person on the back of my bike.
Yeah, it's like if she has a beer.
After the roofie, she was way more relaxed.
You know what, that was her first time out with me.
Yeah.
And prior to that, she was never really on a bike before.
Yeah.
And so, especially going those speeds and highways and whatnot, but she's gotten more comfortable with it. And now she's about it. She wants to go out every time.
We
stopped off at Longhorn. She was looking for a helmet. She wanted a Simpson helmet. Mm. And
good choice.
They didn't have her size, but she's all about.
Well, if you can find a chick that like enjoys it, but doesn't want to go with you every fucking time you leave the house, then that's a good thing.
It's
not a but. If you can find a chick that really enjoys sharing that with you, then that is a very I hate to use the word special because it feels like a Pinterest ad.
Yeah.
It is. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, you should find a way to exploit that part of her enjoying your thing, because I think naturally most of us men, we have a tendency to want them to accept it, and then once they accept it, we're like, all right, stay home, we're gonna go fucking party.
Yeah, see, like, okay.
It changes. Listen, I just had this conversation. It changes the dynamic, though.
Yeah.
If I go to, like, let's say for instance, Houston Dyna Crew deal, and I go down there, when I go out of town to go to these rides, events, whatever they are, I go to really enjoy the city that I'm in, kind of eat the foods that I'm gonna be out. Like, I try to go eat some good food there. What's going on?
No, go ahead.
But I try, and try to hang out with the guys that are in that town that I don't normally get to see, and just kind of try to build a pretty good, like, better bonds with those people. But if you take your old lady with you, I feel like or just a chick with you, it just changes that dynamic of it. It changes your interactions with the people that you're there with. Because now I'm spending the majority of my time making sure they're having a good time and that they're okay, and they don't know none of these people. Especially they don't know none of the people that you're going to this event with, because now, like, they don't have anybody to talk to. And if you're sitting here talking to these people about what you're doing, like, they're fucking just standing around. So then you're worried about so really you just spend all your time focused on them and not really getting the experience of the event that you traveled all the way there to see.
I mean, that's a tough thing. Like, for a guy like me and you, that's important, right?
Yeah.
But for an average dude that's going to ride his bike up there, I understand why. It like of all the bike trips, like our camp out, the down south camp out, the polar ride we do, Robert Cheek, one of the best dudes in Texas, right? He doesn't drink, and every time he shows up, he's got his chick on the back, and they're a fucking solid couple.
Yeah.
We just kind of accept the fact that, like, first off, he's not raging with us till 2 a.m.
Yeah, he's like,
but he still is just a quality of friend of ours as the dude that is raging till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
Same thing with, like, Cracker and his wife Courtney. Courtney, for the most part, I would say 99% of the time, she's there.
Yeah.
She's on the back of his bike.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, she comes out to all the fucking rides. She comes out to all the bike nights. It's very rare when you don't see Courtney on the back of Cracker's bike.
Mm-hmm.
True story.
I mean, to each their own, right?
I think that where it gets complicated, I mean, it's such a crazy world, right? Because the bike culture thing can be it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable for the chicks to jump on the bike and go do the shit we do, and it's not comfortable for us. So when we get there and our ass hurts, but we're ready to party, but she's bitching. Like, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, my ass hurts too. Let's go rage. You know what I mean? Let's go do this. But at the same time, I think there's so many variables in the whole relationship with the chick and a dude thing. There's no way we would have to start the beginning of this podcast with a list and go over our opinions on each one to kind of tackle it. But what I like to try to do is I try to help women understand why some of these men need the bikes and the camaraderie that we create with these bike nights and these events.
Yeah. It's a good outlet.
Sanity.
Yeah, it's a good outlet.
It's a release. It's a stress reliever. It's just a getaway from the everyday kind of bullshit.
And it's not like you know, when I say that, it's not because they don't want to be with you. They need to go to bike night to kind of cope with the fact that they're with you. I hope that's
but
not
that's the
case.
fucking reason. Let's be real. No, I'm just joking.
Tell us how it really feels like.
After 4 days at the house with that hag, we're ready to get out of there. I'm just joking.
How do you do that, bro? But you know, very, very few women. Dude, it's like I feel like I just smoked weed right now because it's like one of those things that like
Eureka.
This spiraling of events in my head pop up because I get wrapped up in these conversations so heavy with so many people and their relationships. Like Dr. Phil, I'm the Dr. Phil for the motorcycle couple in a sense, but I'm always one-sided. I'm always on the dude side. But what I would say is that how awesome, like how pathetic, let's just put it like this. How pathetic is it? Oh, fuck, I can't say that. That's mean.
Yeah.
How weird would it be to not have this? Like
bike?
to not have.
People ask me all the time. They're like, even like for instance, my brother is like, bro, you're 5 years old. Like, you're about to turn 36 next month. Like, how long are you going to keep fucking wrecking motorcycles and doing this? Like, you know, like you got to grow up one day. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? Let's just say, for instance, what if I quit stunt riding and I don't go to the lot no more on Sundays? And I don't go to bike nights on Thursdays? Like, what the fuck am I going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy some fucking Columbia shirts, buy some fucking khaki shorts and some fucking Sperry's, and I'm going to go down to the local fucking bar and I'm going to sit down there and drink my fucking life away.
And that's more acceptable than pursuing something you're passionate about.
Yeah, that's way more
having
cool.
goals. What's your goal? Oh, fucking, I'm going to put my long sleeve shirt on and my short shorts, and we're going to go drink at the local bar. Like
every Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I'm probably going to try to rape a girl this weekend. We'll see how it goes. By rape, I mean she said she didn't say no, bro. She was drunk.
I'm stronger than her. No.
I think that how is it not attractive to find somebody who has passion and goal for things?
I think it's an attractive quality, but then it's like until people feel like they're competing with it. Like when they're competing with it for their time or their.
But
that's where you're gonna get conflict. Is like, okay, Thursday, like just hypothetical situation. Thursday night's on my bike night. You know that. Oh well, my sister's coming to town, or this. Or
great, y'all have a good time. Bye.
And it's like, okay, it's like, well, can you miss bike night just this one time or whatever for this or that?
Don't do it. Don't fucking.
Well,
don't break week, Paul.
Just tell her to come down to bike night and see what.
Why don't you bring your sister to bike night? There's like 50 dudes there on Harleys with tattoos and fucking open beer tabs.
No, I understand what you're saying because there are all those angles.
There's plenty of those angles all the time.
You know what's my favorite angle?
Oh, fuck, here we go. Go ahead.
Like this.
12 o'clock.
On bikes.
90.
On the bikes, too.
I like that. But no, I hate to pull it up, but like a certain friend of our group is in love with traveling on bikes. It's something that he's looking at. Like he has no intentions of ever doing. He said slight of his wife having cancer or his unborn kid having cancer. he's doing our 2-week trip across the country.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I know that's always like, I think that some women choose to compete with that as opposed to the ones that just work with that and understand why you need to do this or why, like, period. Like, I guess most women don't have that. Like, they don't have that thing where, like, you know, like I'm a faithful man, so I'm not like prowling the streets. Like, I'm not touching into that primal urges that I have as a man.
I'm not going and looking for fucking lot lizards across the country. I'm just going to go ride motorcycles and hang out and shoot the shit.
When you, like, just having goals, man, like, I feel like what I think it boils down to is that people that have goals are intimidating to people that don't have goals. And I think that people that don't have goals don't understand that what they are looking forward to life aren't technically goals, right? When I say goals, like, every year, me and my friends do a cross-country trip.
Yeah.
That is a goal that we're achieving, a new place, a new experience, right? Maybe you and your old lady have a vacation plan. That's, I would consider a goal, right? But what happens is, in some people's work lives, is like, oh, well, I can't afford to do Cancun for fucking 2 weeks, but I can afford riding my bike across the country with these dudes.
Yeah.
Because that is way cheaper than fucking $5,000 for a fucking week-long stay here, which also she doesn't make any money, so she ain't paying for shit anyway. Like,
that's your first fault.
Yeah. We never marry up, bro. Let's be real.
Fuck. No, at the end of the day, I think
because then they're going to force you to get your shit together, and we can't have that.
At the end of the day, I think what it comes down to is just I think guys in general, like us, who ride motorcycles and do that, we stray from the norm, right? We don't want to be those guys 9 to 5. You come home, you do your bullshit at home, you go to bed by fucking 8:30, and call it good. Weekends, you mow the lawn, you grill a fucking burger.
Check out Sports Center, see what happens.
That's it. Yeah, I think that type of lifestyle is not conducive to guys.
I think I'm
like
going to
us.
pick up smoking meat.
Some-
I'm not allowed to leave my house. So I'm going to find a long-term project that I can do at my house.
If you do, let me know, because I'm
You're
I'm
into
hungry.
that?
I'm into the meats. I'm hungry, bro.
meat
But yeah,
sweats.
no, I think that's what it comes down to, and it's like at the end of the day, they either accept it or they don't, and that's something that they're gonna have to choose, and you're gonna have to choose.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly what
I mean,
it
there's
is.
guys. Listen, there's guys in the last 4 or 5 years that I've been riding Harleys. Shit, I fucking ran into guys that, we rode all the time. Everybody hung out all the time, came out to bike night all the time, was active on the chat, everything. Fell off the face of the earth. Why? Because he met a girl.
Their priorities change, which that's okay, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. Sometimes it's maybe it just fills a gap that you have right now. You're bored and you want to go hang out, but you don't have people to hang out with. You don't have a chick to hang out with, so you go hang out with these dudes.
Yeah, but that was always a big problem with the bike club world, is that when dudes were single in the bike club world, they were the downest motherfuckers to do anything. And then as soon as they met the chick with us...
Well, yeah, they were down to go do all the stupid-ass bonehead shit. And then as soon as they got a woman that was halfway respectable, they're like, you're not going to go out doing that stupid-ass shit?
Oh, the
like,
stupid shit I've met you doing?
Yeah, but just because you were fucking smashing beers on your forehead and chugging them before you met me in college don't mean that you're going to be doing that at 45 at your birthday party or shit. I don't know. I don't know. I think, whatever. I think I don't. If you just stay single, you don't have to worry about it. I'm just kidding.
There is truth to that, though. But it's, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I love my wife. I love the fact that I have somebody to share the life with, and, you know, the achievements with, because, and I do very much so wish that I could experience more of my traveling on motorcycles with her. But it's a very, very, very tough acquired taste to want to ride a bike across the country and endure
It's one thing. I mean, I've never been on the back of a bike before, but I'm sure it's a different dynamic.
Don't lie.
Stop.
Yes, you have. You're from Canada.
Off.
You've definitely been on the back of some fucking Mount Me hat wearing.
I can't quit you.
I'm sure it's a different dynamic being, behind somebody on the back of a bike than it is to actually operate one.
Yeah, you can lay your head back and just chill.
Yeah. But, and even, I guess where like some of our old ladies come into play is that they see how how much effort we put into the trips that we take. Like we literally have like a pre-party to plan the trip that's 6 months away, right? And we're literally like we're in here in the studio, we have the map up, we're talking about like, let's check out this place, Google that place, let's find out what kind of riding they got over there, let's see if they got any bars, and then we figure out where we want to go in the country. We're so stoked. We've talked about it on a podcast.
Yeah, how could they keep you from doing it?
They can't keep us from doing that
because you're so pumped on it as your best friend. How could I not?
This is the alternative though. Whenever it comes like, hey babe, let's do a trip with us. I'm like, all right, where you want to go? And she's like, oh, let's go to New York. I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. And then I just pick the straight route there. I'm like, I don't fucking know what you want to see. You know what I mean? Like I don't, or we fly there or some shit. You know, it's unfair in that aspect, but it's kind of like the same thing. Like when you get a bunch of your homies together and you're talking about like, hey, where you want to eat? And they're like, I don't know, give a shit. I say, hey, let's go try one joint. Fuck yeah, let's do it. I got to do that 4 times before she agrees to one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we go places, it's quicker and easier to get to the point. And we're doing this today. Nobody wants to be that one dude in the group that's like, I don't know, man.
I don't eat vegetables.
I don't know. I'm not into fucking beer and steak. So, is there a place that tosses salads around here?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bloated today.
I think I'm just gonna go back to the hotel.
Is that gluten free?
Well,
it's one of those.
Now
things
you gotta take your shirt off, Paul.
Shit, I'm not doing that.
What are you doing over there, Dick Tracy?
Dude, I don't know how to work this thing. I think I almost called my wife.
Smartphone. You said her name and it called her, and she's like listening to you now.
Yeah, she's like, "What the fuck?"
You're an asshole.
No, I think it's I don't know. It's one of those dynamics because when you do bike nights, you get a lot of guys that are struggling with that type of concept of like, I really want to do this, but I also don't want to, ruin my marriage, ruin my family. And I hate that it's looked at as ruining it because in a sense, it's like it can bring a lot more. I've always said that a kid that has 2 happy parents is going to be a much better off in the future.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And 2 happy, like real happiness, meaning that they're content with themselves.
Individually happy first.
Yeah, individually happily. They live a life outside of their home that fulfills their needs as a person, and then they share that happiness with each other. And that's what I think.
When they get home, yeah, that's a good way to do it for sure, I think.
Yeah. And when you do that, I think that you become a better parent. I think the parenting you do by proxy is more apparent that your kid can see you being a happy person, and it's more inspiring to your kid than if you were,
God, I hate my fucking job. God, I hate my life. Man, I hate this.
You love your kid, but you come home and you express none of the mannerisms of love because you're not in a happy place.
I can tell you one of the things that my kid loves doing, my 2 kids, taking them to stunt lot.
For real?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Paul's kids come to the lot. A lot of kids actually come to the parking lot. Like
Drew and his wife.
Yeah, somebody came to the bike night the other night, and they're like, I was like, man, you ought to come to the lot on Sunday. Oh, one of the new guys, he was asking me to help him do some wheelies and stuff. And I was like, yeah, come to the lot anytime. He's like, oh, I got my kids on Sundays. And I'm like, bring them to the fucking lot, dude. He's like, I never thought of that. Yeah,
it's not a bad place.
There's kids there. They're riding bikes there. They're riding scooters, electric dirt bikes, 50s.
Yeah.
Them kids grow up out there. Some of them do, and it's cool.
That's a good thing, man.
I could tell you I brought one of Whitney's kids, or 2 of her kids.
How many kids y'all got over there? Jesus Christ.
She's got 3, I got 2. So it's
a
full house. Literally a full house.
7?
7
together?
total, yeah.
Ooh, that food bill's going to be whooping that ass, son.
But I brought
CC's every week.
I literally brought her son and her youngest daughter out to a lot. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. And the boy cannot stop talking about motorcycles.
That's got to be a good feeling, though, man, when you expose a young kid to that shit.
He cannot stop talking. Like, even as yesterday, what do you want for Christmas? Oh, motorcycle.
Yeah. That's how it happens.
I mean, that's fucking badass.
Let's see how me and your mom do first, bud.
You might be getting a little sister for Christmas instead of a motorcycle. How about a little sister instead? Yeah, I got my niece. I got my little niece on. We got her on the dirt bike for the first time. My nephews, they've all ridden it, and she's always been scared of it because the first time she rode one with her mom's boyfriend or some guy that didn't know nothing about bikes.
Yeah.
And he put her on a dirt bike in a backyard with a barbed wire fence. So naturally, you know, she went into the barbed wire fence. So that scared the shit out of her, and she's been terrified of them, you know. But
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know, after just watching the boys ride them forever.
She's down,
now,
yeah.
then she's like, wants to do it. So like, all right. So we got her on it, and now you can't get her off that damn
That's
thing.
cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It is. Like getting to.
I ride with my son. I take him to places.
Yeah.
We were gonna ride to the Stubborn America thing at Cape
Riley,
River
he
this
came
year.
to the camp out, right?
He didn't.
Or he was there for a bit, anyways, right?
He didn't come to the camp out. I actually rode with him to that Stubborn America thing last year, and we were going to ride this year, but it was like a lot of rain in the forecast.
Okay, maybe
so
that's where it was. I seen a picture of.
We ended up just driving up there, but I've been trying to like do event like things with him on the bike, like camping, riding.
Yeah.
I didn't camp much when I was a kid. Like I wasn't really exposed to that shit. I was exposed to motorcycles in that world, but it was sport bikes. It wasn't really the lifestyle around motorcycles I was exposed to. It was more of like, oh, he has the same thing Vanilla Ice had in that one movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but trying to find, you know, I know he enjoys it and he digs it. Every time I take him to Strokers quite a bit because every once in a while when I have him on the weekend, like all the homies are there, I'm like, I'll ride up there. I won't drink. We'll just hang out. And he kind of enjoys it. Even though he doesn't look like he likes it there, he enjoys it there. He enjoys being like on the bike and,
Yeah.
you know, around, you know, he loves Jaden and all the friends that I have because they interact with him and shit.
Yeah.
And it's a cool vibe, but, you know, at the same time, I always tell my son, and I say this on the podcast, so I was like, I'm always like, dude, you know I'm pretty cool, right? Like, a lot of people think I'm cool. And he just looks at me like I'm fucking dumb and shit. I'm like, one day you're going to get older and you're going to be like, fuck, my dad had all the cool shit. He does cool shit. I want to do it more, and he's going to be too old, and it'll be nut to butt at that point, and we're going to be able to fuck around on the bikes like we used to. Oh, yeah. So he's probably a year and a half away from being taller than me.
I must say, how old is he now? He's
11?
about to be a teenager.
Yeah.
Now.
His mom is like a little bit taller than me, so he's definitely going to be a lot taller than me. So,
Damn it.
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
It'll beat you.
I was hoping for a basketball player, but he's uncoordinated as fuck. So he's a video game player. So
Pretty smart.
yeah. I hope.
Shit.
I hope.
He got her height and my idiocracy, so he's probably fucked on that one. But at the same rate, it's trying to find a way to make something like motorcycling relevant to a young kid is challenging. I mean, maybe it's easy to a very young, wild kid. I say wild with respect. Like, I'm not saying like a bad kid, but like a free-spirited, like, you know, hasn't got hurt yet kid. Like, oh, fuck it, I'll
like
jump over this.
He's all boy kind of kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he'll jump in the pool, doesn't know how to swim.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't understand that yet. To one of those kids, yeah. But when, you know, teenagers, like when it becomes like the teen world, like how does it translate and apply? You know what I mean?
They're going to want to ride sport bikes no matter what, always.
It's possible.
Of course. And then you're going to be like, those are gay. And they're going to be like, my dad's a fucking loser. He thinks, he thinks sport bikes are gay, and they're definitely way cooler.
I would probably be much more, and I've never been like this growing up, but I would have, same thing, my daughter's 20, she's about to be 20, and she dates a young man that wants to get into bikes, and naturally he's probably going to fall into a sport bike category, and dude, that scares the shit out of me. You know,
Yeah.
I know I was good on sport bikes. I never wrecked on a sport bike. I never rode out of my abilities. I never did a lot of things on sport bikes, but I also know a lot of motherfuckers that did.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to twist the throttle on a bike that can do anything you could ever want it to do power-wise than it is to not. And that's a scary thing. Like, you know, I don't want to be the biker dad that says, no, you can't get on a bike. But, man.
Yeah, you're that old dude that's like, no.
Maybe if it's a katana.
You're like, your boyfriend has a sporty. No.
A Ninja 250.
I guess a sporty would be all right.
I would if it was a Harley,
because they only go like 90. That's at least 90.
I don't feel like the
probably
sport
make it.
bikes become a problem because of how fast they go, like top speed. I feel like they become a problem because of how quick they get there.
Yeah, the 0
and that
to
quickness
100.
of how they get there becomes where they can't maneuver and make decisions quick enough to.
It's very easy to go fast on one of those bikes, and the problem with going that fast is nobody else in public expects you to be going that fast.
Yeah.
And so they make
Listen to how old we sound right now.
They see you in the back or whatever, doing whatever you're doing. They don't expect you to be coming up that fast. So they make moves thinking they're free and clear, and that's where shit happens.
Yeah, if you're whipping, doing 100 real quick down the road, you can't hear those bikes until they're up on your ass or when you see them in the mirror and you make a quick decision.
Mm-hmm. People go, man, yeah, they pulled out right in front of me. Like, well, yeah, because you're doing 100 and a 40, and they thought you were doing 40 and a 40, and
that's
the time.
That's the scary part, man. Like, I don't want to be the dude that discourages people to ride those bikes, but you know, when I think about my daughter getting on the back of one, I get kind of like, oh man, I don't know if I'm really
excited.
I'm not stoked that she's a part of that world. Like, I'd rather her just be on the back of a Harley.
Yeah.
You know, not.
But if she's going to, all you could do is just educate her and.
Yeah. Like, look, if he's drinking or whatever,
just put a fucking helmet on.
What kind of personality does he have? Because that's going to determine the way he acts on a motorcycle.
Yeah. If he's a jock. Well, if he's a jock, he's definitely gonna be a jackass on the bike.
Frat boy.
I don't know if he's a jock. He might be one.
No, I don't think he is. He wears cowboy boots and shit.
Oh, then he's definitely gonna be drinking and going fast.
Is it not?
He's gonna be drinking doing 170 for sure. On the way back from
Austin,
Texas two-step, or I don't know.
He's listening to Co-Wetzel.
Co-Wetzel concert. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a weird one. That's the thing that you don't think about when you have kids and you stay alive long enough into motorcycles to see your kids start to be their boyfriends start to be interested in motorcycles. Like, I feel like my son will probably never get into bikes, but because me and my, daddy's daughter or daughter, whatever the fuck that thing is, I feel like she probably holds me at a high regard around her boyfriend. So her boyfriend looks at motorcycles as a way to also be in that same kind of category in her eyes. And, man, I just like,
boy, that's
don't kill my little girl, bro. Fucking, I hate to even say that, but it's like one of those things. Like, sport bikes. I got out of sport bike riding when sport bikes got tinier and faster. When back in the day, like in 02, 03,
they were just
04,
bigger and heavier.
They were
and faster.
bigger bikes, but they'll still fucking run like a bat out of hell. But when you would hit things, it's almost like the bike was big enough to absorb some of it.
No, they weren't.
Now they poof like birds.
Yeah.
And you're left underneath them. Yeah.
I mean, I got out of sport bikes because I just didn't like the comfort level.
Yeah.
But just the physical position that you were in.
Nope, gut got in the way.
Kept scratching the tank with my zipper.
Yeah, I mean, after a longer trip, everything fucking hurt. Your wrists hurt, your Achilles hurt, your fucking knees hurt, everything. Because you're like in that crouch position.
I like the Harley crowd, but the people that come from sport bikes to Harleys, and this is what my friend Heath Hall told me. He's like, you just have to find your crowd. He's like, that's the thing about a Harley. He's like, if you buy a Harley and you don't find your crowd within the first 2 years, you'll probably fucking think it's gay and get rid of it. He's like, but if you can find a crowd of some cool guys that are like-minded like you, he's like, you'll probably enjoy it forever.
Yeah.
He's like, but if you ride by yourself kind of and just go hang out with people that are not your crowd for a couple years, you'll probably be like, I'd rather get a bass boat or fucking or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Everybody likes to drink beer, so that's cool.
I'm going to go drink beer on a boat.
I'm going to get a pontoon.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
So
you're going to be there Friday. We're holding you.
I want to come this Thursday to bike night.
And Friday.
I can't come Friday.
This is the biggest bike event we're having. You can have us on the podcast for the fucking bike night, but you can't go to the bike night.
I'm trying to help you promote it.
You could do a live,
hello,
on location fucking podcast.
All the current viewers, Jace is going to be there, so we want to make sure that you're there so you can meet the famous.
Like Trent,
just a little cutout, and I can take it with you. Put it on the back. I'll just tape it to the back of my bike.
Yeah, there you go. I ride bitch. No, I really do want to try to support the things that you guys are doing. That was we talked about doing this podcast almost a year ago now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I've been so busy with all the workings of motorcycle shit outside of Texas, some inside of Texas, but a lot of like the world of motorcycling. And sometimes it's so out of sight, out of mind because I spend so much time on the road sometimes that I forget about the scene here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And with what you guys have been doing with the with the DFW Dyna Crew and keeping it running, keeping it growing and evolving. Like I just we need a bigger scene. We need a more we need everybody to come together in a sense to kind of help create a
more
community where everybody
can
not look at it like the way it's been. And I didn't really want to go over this, but just I didn't want it to be so
competitive, like competition. That's stupid.
Yeah,
it runs to me. It runs most.
It's not
things.
like Apple and fucking Samsung here, motherfuckers. Like we all ride the same bike. We all need the same thing.
Even though
like,
Samsung's better for sure.
Let's not go there, bro. I'm
100% in agreement with that. I mean, it was the community is growing, but it's still a small community in DFW, and there's like it all needs to be one.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
And like I said, the one needs to be just the opportunity that the guys that are in our quote unquote circle shouldn't feel guilty about wanting to go to another bike night or be interested in stunt riding.
Yeah.
And vice versa if those guys are interested in doing the traveling.
Because I'll tell anybody, if you want to go travel across the country on your motorcycle and sleep in sleeping bags and tents and like go to Sturgis on your bikes
with other dudes,
especially if you want to do that.
Yeah.
If you want to spoon with Jace.
Yeah. There's a tier system with the spoon.
But I would recommend, when I came back from Sturgis, I told everybody in the group, like, if y'all ever if y'all don't ride to Sturgis once in your life, y'all are fucking idiots. Like, that was cool. I think I would never, because of any group, whatever, I would always encourage anybody, if you can get out and go enjoy your motorcycle with people, new people, old people, by yourself, whatever, go do it every chance you get to, because it's always fun. Like, even if it's something you might not think you're going to like, if you just go out there and put yourself out there, like, you'll probably have a good time and enjoy it.
Yeah.
The main thing is that, like you said it before, is like there are a lot of different paths you can take within riding bikes, and some of those paths might be I just need 1 day a week to go get away from my shit show life, right? Or I want to pursue stunt riding, or I want to be a better rider or a racer, or I want to go travel the country. And there's a scene that gives you the opportunity to be around a crowd that does all those things. At the core group of it, we all sit down and drink beer at a bike night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I think with Harleys, one thing I learned about Harleys in the last few years is literally once you get that first one, that bike, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Whatever route you want to take. You want to go and just be your regular Sunday rider that just goes, 5 miles down the road to your local bar, has a beer and comes back kind of thing, or go the club route, or go the stunting route, or go the whatever route. Mm-hmm. I think that the entire...
You have the opportunity.
Yeah, you have the opportunity. You can't have that with any other product, really.
Yeah.
I don't think... that's why I think one of the reasons why Harley sells and has been around for so long is because they, unlike other brands, other brands don't have the type of emotion that comes with a Harley product, right? So
they don't make a modular product, a thing that can be, adapted into different types of riding and different types of scenes.
Yep.
Like literally a Sportster is one of the most modular bikes Harley makes. It could be a stunt bike, a club style bike,
flat track,
a chopper,
bike, drag
bike.
Yeah.
I mean, that motherfucker will do anything you want it to do.
Dirt bike, uphill climb bike. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The Sporty is super versatile. I want one. Who is it in the bike that has that Sporty that's got the dirt tires on it and it's kind of like set up for like off-road?
Shit, I don't even know.
Man, I can't remember what his name is. I'm horrible with names, but he's got one that's kind of like set up to be an off-road Sportster, and it looked like a more adventure type one. More ground clearance and some small
Garley
bags.
has one of those.
Garley does have a dope ass one. Yeah, he's rode it out to our bike night a few times.
Yeah,
and I was like, who the
green one or
something? He does have one. There's one other guy in the crew, but yeah, Garley has an awesome one. He came out to bike night when I was like, who the fuck's bike is this Sporty? He's like, that's mine. I was like, bullshit. Yeah. He's like, yeah. I was like, damn, okay, buddy.
He tried to talk his wife into let him build a dirt bike, and he built a Sportster dirt bike.
She's like, I thought you wanted a dirt bike. Yeah. It is.
It kind of does that. Kind of.
I told you no more Harleys. It's a Harley dirt bike.
Yeah. But no, that is the point. I mean, I wanted to, Houston's been killing it, man. They really have.
They have.
And,
they've really put a lot of effort in. They've been killing it, and they've been killing it for a while.
They've got some good, I feel like a bunch of guys doing different, giving their own 25% or 40% or 30%. They've got a bunch of those guys that are giving, not that, they're giving 80%, 100%, whatever. But I'm saying they're they have a bunch of people willing to put in the work to make it what it is.
Yeah.
And maybe not a bunch, you know what I'm saying, but enough to make it what it is. And it's as cool as it's for me, like besides being like, you know, ROC East Coast and like those huge events, as far as like just like a pretty regular thing that you get to go down, and it's a good time.
Yeah, and I
never go out with anybody. Everybody always talks shit to me because I don't go out at night. Because, dude, y'all motherfuckers, we get done at like 11, and then y'all want to go home and shower, and then you want to go out at midnight. Like, bro,
I don't know.
at 11 o'clock at night, if we go back to the hotel room and take a shower, Zach's not coming out at night, bro. I'm going to sleep on him.
I'm with you on that. I have a hard time.
I'm 10 blunts in already by 11 o'clock, and everybody's like, bro, you're not coming out tonight? Fuck no. Like,
I can't even think straight.
I'll be up in 6 hours. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, dude, we were out till like 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, yeah, right. Yo,
I'd
be sleeping.
I've realized one thing about myself this year. I've been a part of a lot of high energy groups of guys and events and shit, and I've really have fallen back in love with the idea of more intimate, like campfire, a couple dudes sitting around a table drinking a beer settings, and not this massive who's who here kind of events.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's even on like the out of town rides. Even when I went to ROC this year, like I didn't go out either night. I was in bed by like 11 o'clock both nights. Yeah. Just, I don't really care about
get your ear bit off or anything like
that. Bro. Yeah, I don't know. For me personally, I'm not huge on the party, the drinking thing. So yeah, it's kind of different, but I still love it. I still love to go hang out with everybody.
It's good that all day. It's good that there is that opportunity for those guys that do want to do that.
Oh yeah, because there's definitely that. Them motherfuckers be getting wild out there.
not a lot of good things happen. I mean, there's always like some drama. It's good for the people that didn't go out, because you get to hear the wild stories the night before.
Yeah. Dude, did you see what's it called? Blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh, damn. Everybody's on the... Yeah, it is good for that.
So what happened? You got video? Okay, let me see.
Yeah, if there's no video, it don't count.
But yeah, I think Dallas-Fort Worth has a huge scene. And, with you guys' bike night, with the big one, I hope that it kind of brings a lot of people together. I think people have been going back and forth. Fuck it, I'm free on Tuesday, I'm going to Dallas. I'm free on Thursday, I'm going to Fort Worth.
Yeah, there's been a few like that, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think maybe we can definitely look into, 2022 and find ways to create, work together and make the big bike nights.
Yeah, where it could be just a big monster thing. That'd be cool.
That's what Don is saying from Houston.
Yeah, I just read that.
What? Don?
Do a big-ass combined party.
Mm-hmm.
I think the
location, bro.
That's the only thing that's kicking us back.
But we might have a good one. So after the Texas Harley, the bike night, I believe, man, where the fuck is Cracker at? We need you here for this. But I think that what we're going to do, we might not be doing this at all. So if we're not, just say I'm a fucking idiot. But I think that we're going to go ride from Texas Harley after it's done. And that new place where I was telling you about, there's like a little barbecue joint at the bottom of that hill. And then there's a little Irish bar pub.
Where's it at?
In Fort Worth, just right by downtown. Man, I don't know. It's the new bridge. I don't fucking know. We just hit the bridge, bro. And they got a huge parking lot. So I think we're going to end up at that place. They're going to stay open like an extra, 30 minutes or an hour for us so we can eat some food there and kind of come. They don't know what they're getting themselves into yet, but they've agreed to have us, I think. That's good. And so we'll see how they like it. Maybe the guy seemed cool. We pulled up and we were doing wheelies and shit. And
I think when they realize
that people are spending money, then they won't care.
If they're spending money and it's not, I think most restaurants and bar owners know that like whatever takes place in the street is not their.
Yeah.
What patrons do outside of their bar is not their responsibility, and if they can play that card with the cops, and the cops seem like they're pretty chill in the forward. I mean, the same thing with Dallas. Like Dallas is full of so many fucking murders right now. They're like, they don't give a shit about some bikers fucking.
And they're pretty cool with the Harleys. Like when you're on a sport bike and you don't have a license plate, they're coming to fuck your world up.
I think sport bikes are probably not even as targeted as bad as all the dirt bikes and four wheelers are now.
Yeah, they're really making a stink for themselves right now with the dirt bikes and the four wheelers. They said they, I guess, got ran up on pretty tough in Dallas not too long ago on the four wheelers and stuff. Which, I mean, I get it, though. When you're on a dirt bike on the street, they're not trying to hear that. But,
dude, it's crazy.
It looks so fun, though.
The quads, for sure.
The quads are the big ones. But, yeah, you'll be hanging out in Deep Ellum now, and 3 dirt bikes will just cruise down the street. 0 fucks giving.
Yeah.
Like, whatsoever. And I dig it. I think it's...
Me too.
I mean, yeah, I dig it because it takes the heat off of us. But at the same time, I mean, not to get like super fucking political on it, but I feel like it's an opportunity for that community to find love for motorcycles. Now, some of the means in which they go about coming about these motorcycles, I don't necessarily agree with. But if they find a love for motorcycles and they want to, you know, jump out there and go do this shit, and it's the cool thing to do, it's better than being gangbangers.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love all
That's
of
probably
it.
racist what I just said, but oh well, you can't even fucking...
You can't say it. It's all
You can't.
un-PC.
Yeah.
But I do. I love all of it. I love them kids in Baltimore, them
Fuck, yeah,
them
that shit's
dudes
so
out there
badass.
are so awesome on them dirt bikes, bro. Like,
That HBO movie, did you ever watch that HBO Charm City Kings? or
yeah, I
whatever?
watched that on a flight to California
That's
one
fucking-
time, and I was
I
like,
like
I'm like, damn, this old stupid movie got me fucking tearing up and shit in here. Got me all sad. I was like on the plane.
I was trying to get my son to watch it because I was trying to find a connection between him and being young. And you see a lot of the kids jumping on the bicycles and doing that.
pedal
I'm
bikes.
Like, bro, if you want to get into this, I'll fucking set you up.
Yeah.
Get
You
you
know?
a fucking SE and let you go to town. Yeah, the Houston's got a badass pedal bike scene.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
They do. They got a badass pedal bike scene, man. Them kids out there, they're badass at it. Like I said, Roy, he's done a good bit of photography and stuff with the pedal bike scene down there, and that's cool. They love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're so stoked. Just like the sport bike guys, you already know. You get pictures of if somebody's super passionate about something, and to them it's like the coolest thing ever, and you can get some cool pictures of them doing like the coolest thing ever to them.
Dude, when you see a fucking dude on a bicycle come up and hand drag on it, I'm like, that's fucking dope,
Yeah,
dude. I don't give a
respect.
shit. Like,
even the like 50-year-old guy at Venice Beach that's like riding around down the whole beach on a wheelie on his fucking beach cruiser or whatever. It's like, that's fucking cool.
I was just like, hey, babe, come here, show this guy your titties. That was cool.
Get out. We're on a rock rally.
Yeah, but you know.
So again, though, are we ever going to have a rally, something like a rally that's not a Hell Yeah Brother rally? Can we get a fucking? And I'm not talking about Sturgis. I'm talking about. Is it a possibility to have a? I don't even know what you fucking call it. Like a.
I think that are the things that we have that aren't that are already in place. They're just not called rallies, whether it's a camp out or
Those are like
night.
rallies, yeah, but they're not though. Like, because they're not a rally. They're a fucking camp out or a bike night.
That's what a rally is.
Yeah.
No, a rally is an event at a huge thing full of vendors. And
Do you really care about the vendors?
do I personally care about the vendors? No, because they're fucking tassels for your fucking brake levers and their fucking
LEDs.
vests and LED lights and speakers for the top of your
And
bags
knives.
and fucking
Garters for women that
you know,
don't need to wear them.
headbands and fucking
Yeah. So
koozies and
why-
so no, but what I'm not talking about that. That is a old rally. I'm talking
Yeah.
about, can we get a new rally where we have like, now if My Machinist was out there, if fucking S&S had a booth there, if like Simpson had a fucking booth there, if Legends, Lucky Days, like if they had booths there, like fuck yeah, I would care. Like I would go look at all of them and I would definitely probably buy some shit.
So the only thing is like
They just don't have anything there for our community.
I think that our events that are smaller, like put it like this, like some of those companies, it's like Justin's not a big deal. It's not a huge expense for him to jump in his car, take a few things down. But Justin's also one of us, right? So he's going to want to party with us. He don't want to be stuck in a booth all day selling the same parts that you can buy on the internet. You know what I mean? And he's already got a back order for fucking X amount of time for fucking kickstand blocks, so he can't provide any more of those for anybody, right?
Right.
So he's probably going. Same thing with Tony. It's like why does Tony need to come set up a booth
When he has a shop.
when he has a shop that you can buy everything that he sells online on his online store, right? Or Simpsons. Like I would rather these brands.
Would the rallies rallies will just forever be fucking leather tassels and fucking LED lights?
No, I think that our new world of what we do on bikes is not called rallies anymore. I mean, Daytona is still the go-to. Sturgis is still the go-to, right? Rot Rally they've been leaning more towards the golf carts and like a nudist colony type vibe.
Yeah, it's
way longer than it's been leaning towards
Woodstock.
Yeah. So I think that our events are the smaller ones. It was the Giddy Ups and the Born Freeze, or it is the Born Freeze now. And I'm not trying to super plug the camp out, but it is the camp out, man. Like, you're going to get more connection for people nationwide and feel more a part and more ownership of an event when it's something small and intimate like our camp out is, or the Down South, or a Houston bike.
100%.
So
it's like I tell everybody.
Let me ask you this: is East Coast considered a rally?
No, fuck no. Yeah, right. They would never. No.
Are you serious?
It's just called East Coast, and it's just an event. It's a stunt ride, is what it is.
I think our events are just different now.
Right.
And I mean, if we were to throw rally on, if I was to say the Fast Life rally, it would probably turn off a lot of our demographic or generation.
But not if you were like, oh, thanks to our sponsors, and they're all cool ass sponsors. It's not the fucking Sunglass Hut and the fucking, you know what I'm saying?
So, have you ever been a sponsor at an event?
Never.
All right. So what it usually entails is you're sitting in a booth all day long while people go and enjoy their day and come and deal with you on their free time. Right. Mm-hmm. So if you take our camp out, for instance, and this is something we've kind of dealt with, like, do we bring like vendors or not? And it always leans towards
for the camp out, no, because it's a camp out. It's not a rally.
but I want those vendors to be there. So Steve at Speed Kings is coming to our event next year as Steve of Speed Kings, riding a bike and fucking being a biker. Simpson will be back, same thing. Like, I want these brands to come, but I want them to come and just be there with us, to where
they're not there working.
Yeah, they're not working. They're being who they really are. They're bikers, right? They're a part of this community the way we are. And when you sit there, and I always tell, like, this is the worst. I'm sorry, I'm going to fucking probably throw my friends on the bus this, but when someone says, hey, man, why do you wear Simpson over Bell? I'm like, because I've done mushrooms with the Simpson guy. And you could have done it too if you came to the Fast Life Camp.
Yeah, because he's a part of the community.
That's not true. I did not do mushrooms with Scott. That is a legend.
Just like the people say, you know, why do you run? Somebody posted in the Harley Stunt page, one of the groups on Facebook a while back, and they're like, you know, why, if Legends to Olin's, he's trying to figure out which he wants, you know what I'm saying? And why is it that if Olin's is a superior shock, everybody in this page supports Legends? I said, number one, because they support the industry, period, in a story.
100%.
Like,
yep.
In the stunt community, look at every fucking stunt rider that stunt rides pretty much, and they're running fucking Legends, because Legends sponsors fucking stunt riders. They are a part of the community. Whereas Olin's, if you go to a fucking track, like, everybody's running Olin's, and that's their community, but they're not sponsoring nobody. And so for me, I'm running the companies that do for the industry that I'm a part of now, which probably part of being around you made me realize that more, because I didn't even I didn't even think about it or give a fuck about it. But now, like, I'm wearing a Rebels Den hat and a Lexan shirt because they hook me up, or they take care of me, and
it's not so much that they're going to take care of people.
Not that, but
there.
They're a part of they're a part of the industry.
When's the last time you've seen like Cena supporting anybody you know?
Never.
When like, whether they have a superior product, I don't know. I've never even fucking tried one.
I believe not.
And people always say, like, well, hey, why do you run Lexan? I'm like, well, I didn't run any headset before Lexan, and Lexan solves every problem I need for a headset. And I fucking am good friends with the people at Lexan. That's not maybe going to be the selling point for you to buy a Lexan, but I'm not going to sit here and go through this fucking checklist of review things like, oh, well, they fucking have this many more megabytes and fucking
gigahertz,
sound quality.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that shit. I like them. I ran Olin's, right? That was a big question. Everyone wanted to know the difference between Olin's and Legends. And I'm honestly, the way I ride, there's been zero difference. Now, if
you're so slow in the corners,
exactly. If you put like somebody very like a much more technical rider like Steve Chamberlain or something like that on my bike on a track, they're going to be able to tell you the difference between this on high occupancy load type situations,
high performance,
right? High performance loads. I'm not going to do that, but I can tell you that for traveling on a bike and putting down miles, it solved the same problem that Olin's has. Now that I feel like on this playing field, maybe not on every playing field, but on this playing field of traveling on my motorcycle and being able to rip corners to my abilities, and probably a little bit better than I'll, on a higher ability than I am, Legends fucking does it. Now, also Legends supports the industry. They sponsor events, not just individual riders. They sponsor events.
Same.
Right?
Yeah.
If you have a problem with Legends, Legends has a fucking hub in which they take care of people. They have a good customer service
on rebuilds.
If you have a problem with Olin's, and I'm not trying to bag on them, I'm just saying this. You have a problem with Olin's, you have to go through one of the channels. Olin's has one of the dealers of Olin's, right? Which, unfortunately for our industry of performance motorcycles, is like all the main Olin's guys don't have the best track record across the board with everybody. So you got to pick which fucking dude you want to deal with, right?
Yeah.
I can't go direct to Olin's. So, and Olin's doesn't make direct fucking replacement parts for everything in Harleys the way that Legends does. So there's a plethora of things that like you can name off as to why I support one brand and the other. To be fair, Bell does a lot for the industry.
Yeah,
a lot.
do. They're a huge supporter of it too.
I do not discredit the fact that Bell does a lot for the fucking the stunt scene and the motorcycle scene.
They're probably the biggest, as far as helmets go. They're the biggest supporter and promoter of the stunt scene by far, hands
100%.
down. It's not even a question. For me, I'm
Texas.
I like Simpson because they're a Texas company, and I think they look the coolest. But they're a Texas company, and that's important.
And
for me.
the thing I always try to explain to people is that Simpson's not a big company. They're not big, so it's like when you look at these companies as like everybody's the same across the playing field, it's not the case.
Yeah,
Bell is a huge brand, a very huge brand. Simpson, we probably think is a huge brand, but they're really not. Their motorcycle division is 3 individuals.
Yeah,
across the entire United States. Wow. 3 guys running social media, orders, product design,
and
product
props
development.
to them. And props to them if you ever tag them in a motherfucking thing, they're commenting on your posts, and so they're on top of their shit. Like just giving credit.
And I'm not saying that Bell's not doing the same thing. They're not doing a good thing. You just gotta understand that not all companies are the same, and some people are out there busting their ass to be a part of your scene. And those are the people you really need to support. The ones that you see at all the bike events you go to. Mm-hmm. When you go to fucking every hardcore cycle show or every fucking FXR show, and there's a Lexan booth right there, and you're sitting there running Cena, you got to ask yourself, you're taking money out of your smaller motorcycle economy, right?
Yeah, your community for sure.
And you're throwing it into somewhere that doesn't give shit to your economy.
Yeah.
At least I know when I buy a Lexan, that he rides a Dyna and his buddy rides the other owner rides a fucking performance bagger and an Indian Challenger, which I dock him a couple points for that.
Yeah,
one.
come on.
But at the same time, like these dudes are also buying the same parts to put on their bikes from the other people in the industry. So the money that gets funneled into a brand like Lexan comes back because they're a part of it.
Support people that are going on trips and doing stuff in the industry and help. Like I think they're doing some stuff with the Houston Dyna Crew and stuff.
That's why it gets very hard to be like everybody wants a review, and I'm like, man, like in some of this parts game, some of these products, a review is not necessary. Like it's more of it's a review on the brand itself. It's the people behind the brand. It's if we're gonna be in this PC world, right, where everybody's got to have a political view, I fuck with them. They drink beer with me.
Yeah.
They say questionable shit they can't say on a podcast in real life. I like that shit.
I fuck with that.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's something that I definitely learned from being around you too it makes perfect sense. Like, why would you support a bunch of companies that don't support what you do? Like, that seems stupid.
I mean, in some aspects, we always have to put money out for things that we absolutely need because we don't have other options. But for instance, Chopper House. That is a brand in Texas.
I wish
that I want to promote and work with so bad, but they're and I'm saying this with all due respect. I say with all due respect, you can't get at it.
Just because you say all due respect.
They dilly-dally. They dilly-dally in the bike scene. Sometimes they're making parts and sometimes they're not, and I know why. Right? He has 50 CNC machines, and when the oil fills down, he's cranking up motorcycle parts. Well, for people that make a living on motorcycle shit, it's hard to promote that brand when they're coming and going so much. And I really, really want Jason Chopper House to make to be just a fucking strong entity because he makes great products.
Awesome shit. I love his shit.
Fucking wheels.
Man is so player. Jake's bike is so fucking player. I'm like, dude, that shit's nice. I wish he was releasing parts like that when I was building my Dyna. So, because I want that Texas as fuck. Like, they got all kinds of cool shit.
We have a lot of great brands in Texas. You know, Royalty is down now in Fort Worth.
What?
Really?
Royalty Racing, yeah.
I didn't know that.
He probably don't want me to tell anybody, but oh well.
Broke the news.
He's from Fort Worth anyway, so.
No, that's cool. I like the Texas to support the local, of course, if you can.
I mean, we have a lot of great manufacturers of products and parts here in Texas, so there's no reason why we can't. You know, Lindahl is a Texas brand. They're in San Marcos. Marcos. There's actually a new company down in Austin, I think, that's been doing some machining, making like. Have you noticed them? I can't remember their name. It's like TI Industry. That's fucking. That's the calculator, right?
Texas Instruments or some shit.
But there is
TI-83.
They've been fucking with like Connor FXDB and some of the racing stuff that he's been doing. They're making kind of machined parts. I don't know what all they're doing, but I mean, I'm interested. I have my eye on it. Like, I'd love to see what they're going to promote because if their heart is in motorcycling, then I definitely would like to help them promote their brand.
Yeah.
You know, but I always look for, is their heart in motorcycling? Or are they trying to rape and pillage?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people want to get in this thing because they think there's money in it. And, you know, there is money in it, but it's like, calm down money. Calm down. You're not getting rich here.
Yeah, you're not going to put your kids through college.
Yeah, come on.
Fucking tell them, maybe you will, but.
Justin, my machinist, seems to be doing well. I don't understand how.
Well, because
I didn't wear his hat today. It's right there.
Yeah, we were having a battle at the Dyna Crew last time between like 3 guys had the same Harley Davidson hat on, and then 3 guys had my machinist hats on. So
yeah, I think people just buy his hats.
I think maybe I want to buy a swing arm for my Road Glide since Track Dynamics fucked me around. He's like, oh God, here we go with that shit again.
Yeah, I've had multiple conversations with people about Track Dynamics, and
their $1,500 swing arm still sitting on my wall in my garage, hanging on some fucking.
You have it?
Yeah, it's hanging on. It's hanging on Rubbermaid hooks in my on the garage wall right now.
Yeah, you had a shit show experience trying to get that swing arm.
Yeah, and so now it's like out of
spite.
Out of spite. I feel like I just can't even put that bitch on there. But it does suck out a $1,500 fucking swing arm.
Trust me, you could sell it real quick because everybody's waiting 8 months to get
just
one.
go in the comment section and just
sell
find
for
somebody
$2,000.
that's been waiting. Be like, I got you right now.
You could probably trade Justin, my machinist, for one of his swing arms.
I would. My machinist, if you want to swap one, I got you. We'll throw that bitch in the river at K River Campground. Get Steve over there. We'll throw it on the roof at Deep Ellum or whatever we got to do.
Just fucking throw it on the roof.
Like he did that fucking
Cena. Yeah.
That was good.
I wanted to do another hood ride this year, but I just...
You don't like it. It's okay. You don't like the stunt riders, bro. Just say you don't like the stunt riders.
I want to do the hood ride, but it would be, it would be way cooler if the hood ride was all of us. It was not called the FASTLIFE hood ride or whatever. It was called something else. It was like all of DFW because it felt, the 2 times that I did it, it felt dirty because I don't fucking stunt ride. And here it is, like, in a sense, it was an idea of trying to promote the stunt riders in DFW by bringing everybody that stunt rides to the table and things like that, but having my name on it just doesn't feel. It just never felt. It felt sleazy in a sense, you know. And I feel
just because you slept with me to get it,
yeah,
worked out doesn't mean that
I
it was
wasn't trying to go there. But no, I just feel like that there is so much talent here that it should be called something to represent what is here, not me, because I'm not. I'll help promote it.
Dude, we have so many fucking people here that stunt ride that I was just thinking of the other day because I was like, oh, they're like, well, who all is going to be there? And I was like, well, it's going to be like me and Cracker and Tony and probably Kenny and probably Beanie and probably Manny and then probably Anders might show up and then Bahi's probably going to show up and then Swami might show up and then Ray and fucking Josh might show up and then the fucking Houston guys might show up. I was like, fuck, dude, there might be like 20 stunt riders out there doing wheelies. And then this Ryan, Ryan Tank Sleep. I don't know. He's a newer guy, but he owns the DFW Grom shop.
Yeah, he was commenting up there a while ago.
Okay. Well, wherever he's at, shout out to him. Oh, Josh Bailey, what are you retracting messages for, little buddy? You better be coming because I just said you were. But yeah, I think he's a new guy. He just got a 03 Road Glide, and like day one, as soon as he couldn't get it to hook up, and we were all calling him pussies, and he got a Shinko, and then 7 minutes at the parking lot on a Shinko, he's like, brrr, and I was like, oh, he's got it down. That didn't take long.
Figured it out.
Yeah, so he's we got another bagger in Texas, and like I said, Jake's gonna come up, which is cool. He's
killing it.
Man, I don't know. I haven't really seen Corey ride, Tazinski ride too much. I only got to see him like one time. He's super technical too. Like he really is. Good. And but probably Jake's got the most technical riding, and maybe Rocks if Rocks is still riding, but he's not. So fuck Rocks, man. Rocks, bring your ass out, dude.
When Jake came up to the last hood ride, I mean, he was on the road just digging deep with them fucking hand drags just out in the fucking traffic.
So deep.
You know what I mean?
Sketch deep, dude. Everybody's like, cut your shit deep. I'm like, bro, it's already feels deep.
Sorry, fucking dragging seatbolt.
Yeah, dude, it's cool. I was happy to get to see him riding so quick.
Yeah.
After that fucking incident. But yeah, I think probably for the most technical rider, probably Jake or Corey, they're killing it. But pretty soon, like in our little group, as far as Tony and Cracker and everybody, I say now they're talking. Now Tony and Cracker are getting to where they're talking shit to me because they can pretty much do all the shit that I can do now, and so or they can, or even some of it better. And so now they're talking shit to me. And I'm like, bro, like. You can't be talking shit to me. I fucking helped y'all learn this shit. Yeah, I brought you up to this point, to my point. Now y'all got to go past me to where y'all can teach me some shit, and I can learn from you fucking guys.
That's cool, though.
No, it is. And it's like, dude,
pretty quick, too. Only like, a year and a half?
So stupid fast.
2 years, maybe?
If you look at anybody that's been riding, I don't know anybody that's progressed more than those two guys probably in like that short of a time from the first time we did wheelies together, and they couldn't do shit until now. Like they can scrape sit downs, knee drags. Fucking Tony can't do hand drags. After a year, he's been trying them, and he's being a little puss. He touched the ground one time, but that's our thing right now is talking shit to Tony to hand drag. And
touch the ground, pussy.
Yeah, exactly. Tell him, dude. If that's why, dude, you would be here right now if you could hand drag Tony. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that's kind of the whole fun of it, talking shit to each other, pushing each other to do kind of crazy shit. But it's going to be cool. We're going to have a bunch of hoodlums out there. They came, I guess they went Sunday. Was it Sunday?
Yeah.
I wasn't here. They went out there to try to do a little practice run at Texas Harley.
Like what I was kind of saying is like all the shit you guys do, and you said it best. Well, earlier you were talking about like these guys doing this also have to do this elsewhere, not just at home base, right?
What do you mean?
You need to go show the world in some form or fashion, like the scene. And I mean, when we do like the polar ride, for instance, right? Mm-hmm. Very simple, basic concept, right? But y'all should be there for that shit because in a sense, it's like all we're doing is riding in the winter, no matter what the conditions are, and we're partying. Well, there's no reason why you guys can't be out there doing the same thing with us and also putting on that show. Because when all these different towns in Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Kansas come together to party on one spot, we're all part of the same community at that point. And we should all be there doing that and not look at it like, oh, that's one of those guys from the Dallas crew that does that shit. We don't really go over there. You know what I mean? And vice versa.
That's
you know
what I say when I see Jace post. I'm like, oh, God, there goes
here we
Dallas,
go.
goddamn city slickers. Damn city slickers.
Man, there's so much. When you think of community and motorcycles, it is so much bigger than here. It is so much bigger. And it's like, maybe it's a lot to take in for someone that doesn't really have as much of this life ingrained into them, but it feels awesome to have friends across the country because you make the effort to go be a part of those events that are sometimes 200 miles away, sometimes 1,000 miles away.
100%. And this is something I've told some of the younger guys, like I've told Tony and told Cracker and just some of the younger guys in the stunt riding community, like if you want to go make a better name or to gain better, let's see, how would you say, like better relationships with people around the country that are like these guys. Let's say, for instance, like Sit Down Steve and those guys up in St. Louis, Kenny, Junkyard Kenny and all them guys. If you want to go build some sort of a personal relationship, if you want to like want to go, you're like, dude, I seen them guys on Instagram. They're so fucking cool. I wish I could go ride with them. Like, dude, you can. You can literally hit them dudes up and be like, hey, I'm coming to St. Louis this weekend. And if you're a stunt rider like that, you can be like, hey, I'm coming on the 16th through the 18th. I'll be in town. I'm hoping we could meet up some guys to get up and ride together. They'll be like, fuck yeah. They'll get a group of guys together. If you want to build relationships with these people or have some sort of a friendship with these people, it's better to go. I would recommend if you go to the event, like to ROC, and you're trying to like hang out with C-Bear and fucking sit down Steve at ROC, like, dude, there's 5,000 fucking people here, and like, you're one of 5,000 people trying to compete with time, and they got all kinds of their own shit going on. So it's like just not really the best environment for you to exactly. And so I would say, like, if that's what you're trying to do and you want to be a part of different communities all over, better to go like 2 months after ROC and go up there for a weekend by yourself or with one of your buddies, and you go up there for the weekend to go stunt ride with those guys. And then what happens is you'll see a lot of the big name guys, like, you know, Dank Wheelie, High Side Joe, Steve a little bit. They'll go to these out of state rides, like if they go to California, but they also are going to be stopping at smaller anywhere basically along the way. And maybe they go Friday through Sunday there, but then on Monday through Thursday, they're going to be stopping in Arizona or something, you know. And when you go hang out with people, like, let's say, like when Steve came down to the hood ride, if he came down here or if he like came to the camp out and was trying to like meet the Dallas community at the fucking camp out, like, super hard to make one-on-one relationships with those people. But when he came down here for the hood ride, like when now you're the guy in town and all the local guys, more like the attention's on you, I guess, and you can kind of build better relationships with those people. And if you want to get sponsored in any kind of way, you got to go out of fucking town and ride. I was telling you, like, one of the biggest things I hear from my sponsors about stunt riders is the professionalism isn't there in a lot of them. Some of them there is. Yeah. But professionalism is one of those things, like, you have to look at sponsorships as in you're providing a service, meaning that you're not sponsored because you can do a wheelie. You're sponsored because you are doing wheelies. I think that's something that maybe the sponsors should better. If they put the criteria out there, then the overabundance amount of people they're going to come and reach out for the air quotes opportunity that they set the precedent for is different. If they don't put the checklist out there, then it weeds out people that are too pussy to try. Yeah, in a sense. And I'm not trying to be a dick about it. It's just that's life. You didn't want to figure out what you had to do to be a part of that thing. Some dudes are the shoot your shot type. Like, I'm gonna fucking reach out and just see what they say. Yeah. Some of the dudes are I'm gonna create the content and tag them every week till they have to ask me what's up. Yeah, you know, or build a brand or whatever until they ask if you're hiring or whatever. Yeah, basically. And I mean, there's different ways you can go about it, but like, I mean, even me, like, I have a pretty solid like way that I talk to sponsors about working with them and getting them on board. Your OnlyFans link isn't solid, bro. Get out of here. Yeah, they keep subscribing. It's working, right? So here we are. But there are also people, like, I know people that get sponsorships from major corporations type because they have like some legit prepared like proposals with spreadsheets and shit, which I don't fucking do. I don't have fucking Excel to do like, oh, this is what I'm predicting with my wheelies this year, and I'm going to do this and this. These are the gains I can bring. Yeah, that's tough to do, probably. Yeah, no, it's hard, and sometimes it's easier to just like ask for a little, but overproduce. Give them more than they're paying for. Yeah, that way you can, like, you know, it wasn't hard for me to do that extra work, but now, you know, they understand that I'm loyal, and that's another thing that a lot of stunt riders are not. They're not loyal to brands and parts. So if you are for instance, if you run Lucky Dave seats and you're trying to get sponsored by them, but you just haven't quite got yet, and you switch to another brand because you think it's going to be quicker and easier, then you just ruined whatever progress you had with that other brand to go here. You know what I mean? So it's a sticky situation. But maybe if that's what I'm saying, sticky. Right, it is. But maybe at the same time, as if you put forth a lot of, you might feel like if you put forth a lot of effort in one avenue and like you're not gaining anything out of it. We all think we're banging the shit out of our girlfriends, right? Of course.
saying I'm sure that
I'm giving it the best I can. Damn it!
I think that we all think that we're killing on Instagram, but there's always someone doing something way better, way more professional. And
hey,
if you're doing,
shout out to Chopsky.
Yeah,
dude. I'm a photographer guy. I like it now, thanks to hanging out with you. Actually,
have that effect on people,
dude. You actually were the push to make me just spend the fucking money. Is I think because I always liked it. It's just like, man, what do you get? But then it kind of helped being around it. But dude, he's killing it.
Yeah,
his shit's so nice.
He is a guy that puts in the effort that like brands want to be involved with him now. And
his shit's so fucking good that you can't not. Like if he takes some pictures of the fucking that hat right there, like him in that hat behind that deal, like you have to post it. Like it's too good not to. Like it's gonna be the dopest shit you got. So
that's what I'm saying. Is like loyalty is something very important to brands, right? And not every brand is sitting like every brand is not sitting on their phone waiting on you to make a post. Like they're just like you are. They have a life. They have family, they have all these other things, so they're seeing this shit as they go the same way you see shit as you go. So keep that in mind and try to find creative ways to share content on your page, whether you're a stunt rider or a traveler, whatever you're doing that's unique in motorcycling. These brands will come aboard, but they respect loyalty over anything. I bought 5 seats from Lucky Days before I ever had a chance to be sponsored with them, and I was willing to buy the 6th. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, for sure.
I've heard people say this, and it pisses me off for them. They say, "Well, I'm willing to run their parts if they give it to me, but they're not going to give it to you. I'm running this other brand's parts." So why would you run their parts in the first place?
If the other brand is giving you parts for free and they work and you feel like they work to the same level and you have an option of free parts or pay money for parts, then I can understand running the free parts.
True.
Unless like you're really trying to win over this brand, but in my opinion, like,
or what if you're getting paid?
You're not.
Well, everything that I'm running on my bike right now, the things that I got for free, I offered to buy. Yeah. I was willing to buy.
Yeah, you love the product.
I'm at checkout and they decided to let me have those.
Yeah,
you
right. No, for sure. Same thing with like there's a clothing company, Freestyle Life. Like I was buying the clothes from him, and he was like, "How about I just send you some care packages and stuff?" And rep hashtag like, okay, cool. I was gonna buy them anyways, but that's cool. And then you appreciate that more anyways, because, but
I think that people understand that like if you create loyalty with a brand, then it might not happen right when you want, but if you are doing something substantial, trust me, the universe will fucking respond.
Yeah.
Right. But if you start jumping around to easier opportunities, it's the same way. Like, yeah, there's a lot of easier pussy out there, but if you work for something good, then, like,
you'll appreciate it more when you have it.
Or it's stuff you actually want. Like, we're buying the parts we want, and that's the people we want to be sponsored by, right?
Yeah.
But if if this brand, is willing, I mean, it's a contradiction no matter how you say it. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. I think for me, people always want to be sponsored. I'm like, but for what? Like, what do you want to be sponsored for? Like, what is it? What is the sponsor going to do for you? If you buy Lucky Dave's, but if you buy Lucky Dave's, let's say for instance you're a stunt rider and you buy Lucky Dave's seat because you like Lucky Dave's seat, and then if you get sponsored by them, cool, but you have their seat anyways. But once you've already bought the seat and the shocks and the parts, like, I mean, at that point, like, what are you wanting to be sponsored for? They're going to give you another set of shocks or seat or whatever the thing is. You know what I mean? The company does, but like,
I think it becomes a clout thing.
It's just like, to me, it's an ego thing, I guess. But I just think if I'm just going to run the parts that I like that work good for me and that, you know what I mean? Like
but you also make great financial decisions in life.
I try. I have made some horrible ones. They said don't judge them in their winning seasons.
Tony just said a tire sponsor would be nice.
Shit, who you telling?
Dude, a tire sponsor? Nobody's going to sponsor you a fucking tire if you can't do a hand drag, pussy. Like
he sent me a message. He said hand drag incoming, motherfuckers.
Yeah, right. I ain't seen it. Tony's kid called me Dada for the first time. We were over there. His kid had never called him Dada ever. It only said mama. Drag. He showed him a video on the cell phone of me doing a hand drag, and when I went over the next time, the kid said Dada for the first time with me looking over the. I'm his daddy, and even his son knows. It's cool. I'm Tony's daddy. And until he hand drags, that's the end of it. And I am the tire sponsor, by the fucking way, Tony. I give everybody tires. Yeah. If you start riding DFW, I give you the tires. And I can't. Hey,
Pop.
You know, dude, the hair starts going when you get older.
No, the sponsor thing is probably it's probably something if you get in that wavelength of wanting it, or that's the purpose for riding.
Your goal.
Then I think that it diminishes the reason why you're riding, and I'm guilty of that. I found myself in a place where you're constantly competing with the idea of like I feel more relevant. I deserve this, and it's a place of it's just a very, very negative mind space to be in to really enjoy motorcycling and what all the community brings, because you're thinking about it as some kind of profit loss type situation.
Yeah, if I don't get this sponsorship, then I'm not legit. Or then you look at, well, I can do these tricks that the guy that's sponsored by them can't do. So if I'm a better rider than him, then why ain't I the one that's sponsored? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Well, because you don't fucking go travel out of state, and you don't go to 50 fucking riding events a year, and you don't eat, sleep, and breathe this shit because you go home and fuck your old lady on Friday night.
30,000 miles this year on a bike. It's September, or it's October.
Damn.
I'm fucking over it right now. And so a lot of, air quotes, whatever someone might consider success within my brand also is included in that 30,000 miles of travel that I've done this year. And I'm burnt the fuck out. I've had a hard time doing podcasts last 2 months because I've just been like mentally drained. You know what I'm saying? So there's a cost to all this like lifestyle and this keeping up with the Joneses of the internet world and all that shit. It's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah, I just had to buy an A1 to try to fucking do better pictures than Chomsky.
Exactly. Good luck.
I'm like, fuck, bro. And I'm still not taking better pictures than him. So
yeah, it's a lot of money invested and time invested into these greater things. And, don't get me wrong, like I've benefited quite a bit from that effort, but at the same time, I'm fucking wore the fuck out, dude. It does have it takes its toll on you. You know what I'm saying? So.
But what else would you be doing?
Exactly. I mean, what the fuck else want to do? Go fucking smoke meat?
You can smoke weed.
Yeah, you could do that. All right, we got to wrap this up, guys.
Dude.
Almost 4 hours.
Shit.
We got playbacks. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Anyway.
This Friday?
This
Friday night.
This Friday, 29th.
The 29th, 6 to 9 o'clock, Texas Harley Davidson. In Bedford.
And every Thursday at the Dirty Crow in Fort Worth, starting at 7 p.m.
We say 7, but if you get there at 7, you're going to be the only one. You're going to be like, where's everybody at?
All right. So you want to be fashionably late.
7:30.
7 o'clock, fashionably late.
Yeah. If you want to see the burnouts and the stuff, 7:15.
Yeah.
But that's it, pretty much.
Bring your hot girlfriends.
And their friends.
And their friends.
And your friends' friends. No. Bring the kids, too. That's a good thing. People, that's not
a bar? Yeah, okay.
Not to the bar. To the show on Friday. It's going to be a family-friendly event, so the kids do like the
You're
fucking
not gonna
wheelies.
Do the naked wheelie?
No naked wheelies. Not for me. But I bought this thing, and it's because it's going to be on basically Halloween, so I felt like a costume would be appropriate.
Yeah.
And so I was scrolling on the Facebook, and they got me with the fucking
the boner priest or the boner skeleton outfit.
Never mind, Jace. You have to come see Friday. We'll see Jace there. Jace,
yeah, good luck.
Jace Hudson's going to be there. He's going to have the FASTLIFE tent set up. We're going to be
never heard.
He's going to be doing custom paint jobs on site for
on-site custom
$500.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, I can't wait.
Helmets. He'll be painting helmets on site.
Bring your green hat. We're going streaking.
Friday's going down. I think afterwards we're going to go do a little ride to Fort Worth over to our bike night area, and then I think we might try to go to that little place. I can't make no promises on that, but if we do, we'll do some bridge.
Well, they should also follow the DFW Dyna Crew Instagram.
That's
a good place to find.
Jesus Christ, we're terrible. DFW Dyna Crew on Instagram.
DFW_Dyna_.
And then your other page is the Dynacologist to see.
No plugs.
_Dynacologist, correct.
No plugs here. We don't do that.
I see what you did there.
Yep. DFW Dyna Crew. Houston's coming up
Yep. Houston's
West
coming
Texas is coming out.
West Texas. What the fuck?
Yeah, Josh and Ray. They're from West Texas.
What we do? Everybody's going to fucking, what is it, Big Spring?
They're coming from Big Spring to come
Oh,
to
I thought you said we're like.
No,
it's coming
they're,
up.
They're coming
Okay,
out. They're
yeah.
coming out to the event. We should have. I don't know why we
So
didn't.
Ray's supposed to do the podcast Saturday, I believe.
I think he said. I was like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to do that. We're gonna be too busy riding. That's what I told him.
Well, you know,
They're like, we can't wait to ride. He was like, I think she's gonna do the podcast. I was like, oh yeah, you're gonna be too busy. It's an hour away. Fuck Jace.
Thanks, bud. But anybody wants to check her out, they can follow or they can check out. Was it Metal Masters?
Oh man, don't get me lying. If you type in metal on Netflix, it'll find it.
Yeah, I actually watched quite a few episodes. I'm not done with the season yet, but it's pretty interesting. Pretty fucking wild though, to be honest with you. I'm actually excited to talk to her, and I wouldn't mind having her boyfriend on here too, like in the mix.
Josh is a stupid cool cat.
Yeah.
He is. He's a cool guy, and he's got a pretty bagger.
I'm gonna set the light up though, so that it shines on her and casts a shadow on him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm fucking. We got to set the tone. Fucking joke around and party. So anyway, well, cool. Thank you for guys doing this.
Metal Shop Masters.
Metal Shop Masters. Yeah.
Damn, there you go. Look at
Hell yeah.
Josh. All right,
In the
on
mix.
top of it. Just kidding. Josh is not cool. He's a pussy. He's not even hand dragging either yet.
Oh, he's
so.
not. Is he? Is he balance point?
Oh yeah, he's slowed down. One day at the lot, we had him slow down. He's scraping the bike, sit down, knee in the seat, and stand up, I believe.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh yeah, he's got it down.
Got the boom in the trunk and everything.
If Josh comes down on Sunday, if we do the lot day on Sunday, and Josh hand drags before Tony hand drags,
Yeah.
Tony never gets to hear the end of it ever.
Ooh,
That means Josh learned it in one day, and Tony's been trying for 1 year.
Yeah.
Little friendly shit talking going on.
It's gonna be a tough one.
We out.